Okay. And I believe we are live. Okay.
Yes, we are.
There we go. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Good day, good love, good light, illuminators and way showers. Thank you. It is once again in divine grace, gratitude, and honor that you all join us today as we explore our expressions of the myriad, the infinite applications of like languages. So do I have an echo? Hang on, guys.
Nope, you're good.
Okay, good. I was hearing on my side. Sorry, guys. Oh, thanks for joining us today. And it is once again a pleasure on this day, this October 30th, 2019, this day that equals the number 7. And today, once again, we explore how we can unlock the miracles within our bodies, ourselves, our imaginations, our love, our authentic selves through the processes through which we discover ourselves through the languages of light, the light languages that really do surpass the soul. They talk directly to and from the soul, surpassing the mind, and speak through the heart, the true heart of all that we are. And it is my joy, my highest joy and pleasure to share with all of you the different various languages. Invite all of you to share yours with us, your experiences with them, whether you know anything about it or don't, whether you want to, whether you'd like to be activated. That's part of why we're here today, is to help activate each other to become our authentic selves. And that for me has been probably the biggest gift that I'd like to share, that I wanted to share with all of you from the day I started my light language channel, Languages of Lights, nearly 5 years ago now. And it's hard to believe it's been that long, but yet again, it seems like yesterday. So it's kind of funny how we learn about time even, and how we construct and experience our physical reality, how we create our reality, how we break down our belief systems that really are not serving our highest joy and purpose. And for me, light languages have brought that gift to me that I wanted to share with everyone else. And I think that illuminating each other and helping each other see our true nature, purpose, light is empowering. And for me, light languages have been extremely empowering. So we invite all of you, Bree and I, as we share with this information with you on these Wednesdays, we invite all of you to join us and share with all of us your experiences, if you want to, your light languages, however they come through, whether it's signing, singing, toning, speaking, symbols, writing. All of these are forms of our expressions of our own light. And so we invite all of you to share with us. If you'd like to join us in the room, I'll turn it over to Bree real quick. And then there's a couple announcements that I wanted to make too, about just some fun things that are coming up for us and for me. And we're really, really, really excited. So Bree, yeah, if you'd like, if you guys want to join the room, I'll let Bree let you guys know how to come on in and join us here in the Zoom room, and how to interact with us every other way. So go for it, Bree.
All right, thanks, Wendy. Hi, everybody. You can join us today by going to Wendy's website on her blog page. So her website is languagesoflights.com. And on the blog, every webinar, every week on Wednesday, we post the information about how to be a part of this in the comments and in the blog itself. There's a link. You can click on the link and join the Zoom room we have with audio and video, or you can call a phone number and join us just by audio if you don't have a webcam. So this is an interactive space. You don't have to speak light languages or even really know what they are to be a part of this. We're talking about a lot of different topics, including how we use light languages in daily life, how other people are starting to use them, experiment with them, work with them, receive them, transmit them, and all the multidimensional expansion and awareness that happens through doing so. And it's very exciting. So speaking of very exciting things, Wendy, I would like for, oh, wait, hold on one second. The YouTube live chat, we're watching the YouTube live chat. And if you guys want to type in there comments, questions, anything, we can read those. This is, again, an interactive space. And so if you have any problems trying to get into the room, please let me know and I'll be happy to tech support, help you out there. But as far as the exciting news, we made a very brief announcement about this, I think last week, was it? But let's talk about some of the details. Now things have been ironed out, Wendy. So what do you have coming up?
I don't even know where to start.
Very exciting.
Well, I'm officially on the teachers team of Awake TV, a subscription-based network that is a true just delight and labor of love that I am just truly excited to be a part of. It's one of those leaps of faith that we take when we don't know where something's going, but we're so excited about where we think it can go. And all of you will post all the links, and my show is going to actually be called Light Language Linguistics and Multidimensionality. And we're basically going to be doing pretty much what we do here, but really expanding on all these areas. And it allows me to really take it in any direction that I want and express how everything's connected, how light languages connects that all, how to activate light languages to help us all understand maybe a little bit more of what they are, help me share my experiences. And it's an hour on Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so we can post all the details for you, and you can find all of the information on my Facebook page, and pretty soon we'll have links and stuff, I'm sure, to on my website, all coming down the road. So yeah, and so I invite all of you to check it out. It's a subscription-based network. It's there. The teachers, we're just starting now to meet each other and do introductions of all the teachers, and a couple of us in here, Bree, Dave, have been able to see some of the teachers and live stuff, and it's really exciting to be a part of this. I'm overjoyed to be invited to be a part of this. It really is incredible, and it's almost like the Netflix of spirituality, and yet it runs the gamut from bridging science and spirituality. We've got, what was that? What was he, Bree? An astrophysicist. I don't want to get his title wrong.
Oh, he is a chief rocket scientist, quantum physicist, and salsa dancer, and many other things that I don't remember. His name's Ravi. He's really interesting. There are incredible teachers signed up.
Yes,
for this network. Over 70 now, right?
I mean, yeah, so far, and they can't even keep up with the requests.
Yeah, they closed it for now. They closed teacher applications
because they can't even keep up the teacher applications because there's so many teachers interested. So it's going to be a subscription-based network through WEdNesDaYs.com, and like I said, we'll post all the information.
I just posted all the links in the YouTube live chat.
You did.
Yep,
of course you did.
All done.
So, you can check out the teachers. You can check out me and my stuff if you're new to my channel. If you're new to this, my work, I'm really excited about not just me, but all of us gathering together as teachers and doing what we love. This is what my channel's been about from day one. Even my Light Languages YouTube channel, Languages of Lights, and sharing and doing private sessions has all been about this, about all of us becoming who we truly came to be, our authentic selves, who and what that is, and how do we find it? How do we break down the belief systems that are often mountains appearing in our way that really are just illusory? And so we have the ability to address all of this stuff, what we call healing, intention, law of attraction, abundance, channeling, coming in contact with our multidimensional selves, understanding what fractals mean, what are parallel realities, how do we create our physical reality from a scientific point of view? How do we bridge physics and physical reality? How do we bridge the multidimensionality aspects of spirituality and understanding? If I close my eyes and I breathe, how does that happen? How do I connect to that stuff? That's the first thing, one of the first questions I ever had when I very first started understanding my own multidimensionality many years ago, long before I found any of this. I began to understand, I began to wonder, how is it if I close my eyes and I breathe and I just let everything else go, how does that help me connect to my higher self, or my source, my light, my God, whatever we want to call that in our definition, my higher source of information? That is what light languages have brought for me. I've been able to connect with practically anything I've wanted to in a myriad of ways. And so I wanted to first of all, thank all of you, take this moment to thank all of you for your constant participation every week, all the new faces, the new messages. All of you have blessed and graced my life with such infinite gratitude for just being a part of my journey, and by me sharing my journey and my experiences with light languages and everything else that it entails. It's about, how do we apply this in our real life? How do we understand? How do I create my own reality? And how can I become abundant in the things I do want, not abundant in the things that I do not? Because we're abundant in the things that we don't want because of our belief systems that we can't have it, don't deserve it, it's not part of our journey. That's always the way it's been. That means therefore that means it's the way it can always, that means it's the way it will always be. None of that is true. Yet we've come to believe that those things are true, and the beliefs are so real, they create our own reality, because what you put out is what you get back. What you believe and what you think, just like Buddha says, thoughts are things. I was just talking about that earlier today. My friend Susan told me that a long time ago. Thoughts are things. Buddha said that. And I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. I want to understand that. How do my thoughts create things? And that was all I had to do, was pose that question to the universe, to my guides. How does that work? And everything else followed suit. Everything. Funny thing is too, as soon as I asked the question, all the things and all the people and all the things that I felt were important to me that I knew were not good for me, though, all fell away just like that. Like overnight, the universe took care of it and said, well, here's the first crap that's got to go. That's first. So it was people, places, relationships, all of it. It all just went away immediately, just because I asked the question, how does that happen? And so from that moment on, and probably in the, I don't know, 1990s or something. So from that moment on, this has been my journey. And it has not been an easy journey, but it's been interesting nonetheless. So what does that all have to do with this and light languages? Well, for me, for everything, because it's what brought me to light languages. It brought me to all of you, brought me to doing this work. It brought me to going on Awake TV to teach all of this, strictly by love and instinct and by the seat of my pants. It's not like I've got all this planned out and I know exactly what's going to happen, because I don't, not in any of it. But the best part of what light languages have brought to me too is that now I'm not afraid of what that means, or how that's going to change my life. And so we've talked a lot about that recently with many of you in my own private messages. And so many of you are expressing your own need, wanting to express yourselves and your authentic selves, and asking me and others, how can I do that? And how can I help? How can I help you do that? And people come to me, help me do that. Show me how, give me. And this is what we do for each other. We're just torches. We're really just candles. We're just lighting each other's way. And when we light, you can't hold a candle and you're not the only one. When you're holding the candle, both of you are receiving the light at the same time. That's just the way it works. You're illuminating both of you at the same time. And that's the beauty of all of this. So I want to thank all of you who are out there watching. And I'm kind of seeing everybody gathering here, and sharing messages. I wanted to say hey to everybody out there, hey Jody, love you, girl. And I know that you're going through some really big struggles right now and some huge changes. Am I okay, Bree? Am I breaking out? And I know I'm okay. And I know you're going through some stuff, Jode, and I'm here with you, and I'm loving you and thinking about you all the time. And I know that this is every single thing that we're going through now. These new births none of them are going to be without challenge. I don't want to say that they're going to be uncomfortable, because that's a decision we all get to make. We all get to decide if it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's all about our point of view. And if anybody can understand that, I can. So I just wanted to thank all of you for being here, because you being here tells your guides and your universe, I want to change how I see the situation. I want to unlock it. Sorry, I wanted to show you guys this too, that, for all of you who are new to my channel, the sacred circuits from Sirius, unlock. Today's date equals 7, and the symbol for that is unlock. And that's just how I feel. We're unlocking stuff with each other and through light languages. And by us showing up together, just showing up, just being here, but just by showing up, we become more of our authentic selves, and we allow the possibilities in, and we start to understand everything truly is possible. And it's really just what we believe is possible, and then moving into the direction of that. So I just wanted to say hi to you, that I'm afraid, and I know. So yeah, hey Angela, great to see you. Thanks for the congratulations. Really appreciate that. You guys, really love you. Hey Taboo Taco, hey do. So hop in, you guys. Hop in if you're free and can join us in the webinar. And even if you can't put your camera on or your voice and just want to be a part of the day and part of the energy, we love having you in here. It's really a joy and a pleasure. And we do have an inside chat box here. Inside, so we can chat with each other, so we can talk to each other. And oftentimes afterwards, you guys, we have a lot of fun. I mean, sometimes after the camera goes off and, the sigh of relief, that we're off the air, and we have a lot of really interesting and very wonderful sharings a lot of times after the camera goes off too. So it's not just about being here live or being in here. If you want to hop in afterward too, the room's still open oftentimes, and sometimes there's a couple people still hanging out, even if I'm not here. So, but I just wanted to throw that out too, because that's something that Bree and I talked about at the beginning. Was we really did want to create a space that's so like sacred and intimate that everyone feels comfortable, and that everyone has an equal voice here, and that everyone gets to share. And even if you don't want to, that's okay too. And so I just wanted to open that up also to everybody and introduce everybody. So I think for right now, I think I want to take a drink of water and I'm going to have Bree introduce everyone in the room and any other things that you wanted to share, Bree. And then I think I would like to actually open it up to a couple of light language blessings. If anybody, and I would say blessings, but it really can be anything at all. And it doesn't have to be light language. So any questions or comments right away. And then there was just a couple things that I, wanted to share. And I invite you guys to offer questions too in the chat here. If there's any questions for me, anybody in the room, anything about my experience, maybe you could tell us about what's happening with you. Maybe what happened when you first heard light languages, how did you feel, or why do you like it? Do you still listen to it? And, those are the sorts of things that we really want to hear is about your experiences. And in addition to sharing light languages and help all of you by activating the things in you that help you become that true blue you. So go for it, Bree.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Wendy. So I'm going to change the view here. There we go. So we have with us today Jessica, Sarah, Adam, and Dave. And so, hi, everybody. Would anybody like to share some light languages or anything else with us to start off before we move into some other stuff? Telling us about how things have been for you.
Yeah.
What's up, Sarah? Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Hi, Sarah.
Hello. Karetiasi. Karatagi yoriti. Karatuku usherati ainaku. Ka usharatahi. Isukurutakini yo kenaya. Kaya sukusutini yayo kali. Kaya tukushina. Lainu kurasharati. Kotatisi. Korataki sota. Haniera to ko uchukutua. Kashana era tana. Retuko sharati sakiwati. Kachuko sharitanai. Urti. Kurti iushi. Kaya to kayani ya poto. Kaya to iti. Haratoko orotukuni. Tare tukuri. Karate kire tukri ishiri. Karanukurutu shiteki kotakaya irutukura. Haratake ayo. Hayati rututuhi. Hayatuko ayaya kotua. Aniro tukurutuahi. Henukuruhoya. Hitikiritukoini. Kratat aini. Orat ayo to osh atiri tukutana. Itukoye.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. Namaste.
Namaste. Would anyone else like to share anything before Bree and I do? Because I feel like talking light languages today. A little.
All right. Well, go for it, Wendy. I think that sounds good.
All right. Today's intention for this light language offering is to crystallize our opportunities when we listen to when we're asking for what we want, what we need. And let's move into that intention of let's ask for what we need rather than what we want, because we will discover that what we need is what we want. And therefore, this intention is for us to become more of paying attention to our fictional, our authentic selves, and to release the beliefs, the thoughts that lead to the beliefs that keep us in the space of remaining our fictional selves. And that's kind of a segue into what I wanted to share with all of you today as well. It just happened to be a beautiful synchronicity. And so I was immediately guided to share it with you. And so that's my intention for this light language offering. And oh, thank you, Angela. I just glanced down. She said, that's why I enjoy your videos. Like I say, because if you guys remember, now I'm coming up 5 years of my anniversary on my channel. And when I first started doing these videos, I was in north of Chicago in the deep snow before dawn, walking my dog, making videos, and it was brutally cold. And I'm not kidding you, brutal cold. And I was marching in snow in boots this big, walking through farm fields and walking through the forest, just entranced in what was happening to me in light languages, not understanding anything. I had just started speaking them and was guided to begin to make videos to share them with all of you and walk through the forest and the farm fields and just let whatever came through. And then that's when all the magic began to happen. And it was cold. It was January 16th, I think, January 15th, something like that. And it was deep snow and it was brutal ice, below zero cold. And there I was bundled up in, like, I'm telling you guys, I must have wore 6 layers, not kidding. And my hands would be bundled up in gloves trying to hold my phone, making light language videos. That's how passionate I was about that. This is stuff I don't even talk about, but it was, I don't even know what was happening with me. I felt like, what is it, Close Encounters, where it's just the movie where you're just so obsessed with this, whatever this thing is, that you need to know more, do more, share more, understand more about it. And it just came flooding in. And that was when it started. And I probably made almost a video every single day, almost for probably 4 years, if not longer. I've probably up to, I don't know, maybe 11 or 1200 videos now. Every season, everything that they told me to to record and alchemize with languages. I did chakra activations, balancing, channeling, information from collectives. It was so strange. All of it was really strange. So if you guys are just getting into this, or you're just starting to experience this, let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff that, so many things from behind the scenes that I haven't even like begun to share with anybody about these kinds of experiences and what it was like for me, what it was actually like for me on a day-to-day basis, living my life in the shadows. Nobody knew what was going on in my life. Nobody, no one but me and YouTube and all the people out there watching me. Nobody in my personal life knew anything. And there I was marching out there in the freezing cold and deep snow, shivering, bringing my coffee and carrying it in my pocket, spilling it on myself half the time, trying to prop up the video, trying to prop up my camera on trees, logs, anywhere I could to share this message. It didn't matter where I was, I still am surprised to this day, the things that I did to get this message across. And I don't even know why I went this direction, but apparently somebody needs to hear it. So it was the most intense thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And I've experienced a lot of things, you guys, lots of things. And, that was and still is to this day, the most miraculous experiences of my life have been because of this, and because of all of those of you who I've met because of it, and what that was like for me marching through the snow. So thank you, Angela, because this is why we talked about this last week. Share everything, because we never know, something you guys talking about a snowstorm can trigger something like me in this, to tell all of you about my experience in the deep snow north of Chicago along Lake Michigan, when I'm talking to my ancestors and my angels and my guides, and I don't know what the hell's happening to me. And there I am in the middle of the forest or in the middle of the cornfields, walking around, crying my eyes out, going, what the hell's wrong with me? I can't tell anybody about this because they're going to think I'm nuts. My family, nobody, because I was afraid. I'm afraid of what they were going to do, what they were going to say, how they were going to react. I was alone for a long time. And so for years, I didn't say anything. And so, so it's kind of funny, because how we come full circle. And by sharing all this stuff, even what we seem to think is, like even yesterday, a good friend of ours, and I'm just going to say it, Dolores, sends me a clip of an audio that she did. And it's just so powerful, and I'm listening to this, and it's like taking me all these places, and just listening. And I thought, you know what, if it wasn't for light language, she and I would have never met. I wouldn't be able to be a part of listening to this and feeling this and seeing these visions and understanding more of who I am because of what she sent to me and shared to me. She didn't have to share that. I didn't have to listen to it either. But that's the way this goes. And so as we share this stuff, even such as a snowstorm, this one, something said, somebody needs to hear this, that to be your authentic self is not easy. Let me tell you, it's not easy. It never was easy, not once. Maybe I make it look easy, and maybe I always did, but I'm telling you, it wasn't. And even marching around in those farm fields and stuff was probably the most difficult thing I've ever done, but it was the most rewarding thing I've ever done. So again, I was reminded of a story that someone said on, I don't remember where, but they said they were listening to a radio show, and they were talking about the worst thing that ever happened to them. They had callers calling in saying, tell us what's the worst thing that ever happened to you, and then the best thing that ever happened to you. And almost all the callers said, oh my God, well, that's the same. The worst thing that ever happened to me turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. So there we have it for authenticity. And I'm telling you guys, it's okay to not go in the cold right now without getting frostbite on my toes and my fingers. If it's below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, if I'm outside, I can feel it, the frostbite on my fingers and my toes from making those videos. And accumulation. I'm not saying it was only from that. I lived in Chicago all my life. It was cold. Always really cold. 9 months out of the year, most of the time it was cold. At any rate, even places that we live and weather can dictate how we become our authentic selves, because we often believe that we have to be a certain place. But again, bloom where you're planted. I remember when Bashar said, use the burnt stick. Those of you who are artists and you think you need fancy pens and fancy paints and fancy pencils and fancy tablets to do your work, no, you don't. You start out with a burnt stick. You start with what you have, because if you don't start with what you have, you're not giving your universe and yourself and your higher self permission to give you more. You're saying, well, no, I have to wait till conditions are better. Well, no, you create the conditions. So all of this has all happened because of light language. All of it has been a process, but starting to speak them and apply them intentionally, but not just intentionally, but inspirationally, spontaneously. When I was making those videos, I had to make them at a particular time because for a lot of reasons. So I did what I had to do, where I had to do it. But once I became more authentic, I started to be able to do them. More options became available to me. So that's kind of how that works. We are not going to see the authenticity created until we become more authentic. And so all of this today has been my message, actually for several days now about this. And then something that happened to me yesterday had prompted this to be shared today. So, funny how that question and me, even my intention for light languages, brought upon all of that. But see, this is how this happens. I can't ever plan what we're going to talk about because we're not supposed to. That's kind of the deal here in life too, isn't it? We sort of have a kind of a theme that we want to go about, but if we all had a map on how to do it and where to go and how to get there, it would probably be pretty dang boring, really, because we get to decide the map along the way. We get to plot the course along the way. So that's pretty exciting, I think. But so I was just going to check. Is there anything in? I was just going to check the YouTube. So hi everybody. I just want to I didn't even start speaking light languages yet.
Yeah, there's just really beautiful comments. As Angela said, meant to be for sure. Can't imagine not hearing or feeling Dolores or any of you here. Thank you again for doing and being you, and for the videos. You're helping many. So that is so sweet, Angela. Thank you so much.
I was gonna say that's the only reason I do it, but you guys already know I do it anyways. Okay. Mishala vicinity ikiasa na sala kismasafi kiashar soliano kwa. Matale I anamalakosha vastasete ki shanatea. Malavia shanaseve itamalianka. Mijamiana mayakura poshoteki. Sambasanatea kaishasete. Neva ni malakopaya sharsenaniano palake. Mejonete ijana vila kisena sete lia kiashora salaki namalaka afashana seviki topolo soposonotea mishaniana kaya ananakiato wala kisha sete samiata lizana shaite evashana biala kisam sopayasha iavakotro samayata maliata via malako porsha si sate simatevia ni maloko Alivalia malakovashana sete viasho vashanate. Alivia no malakovasho. Mateva sono se sapeteleki se nasiti samalu malakatevasho. Meba itala sase tumagora. Itavishete simiste mi malakopaya. Tevalushan tevilakutavestete. Mayama elefiso. Mayali anakeletovakosha seva gora. Ariasha somaniavara kaliato se savasha se nomato. I wanted to share with you guys really quick what I was just kind of getting and experiencing, and as I'm speaking, I'm literally hearing like names and seeing visions of things, but names and like introductions to all of you, and to me, of they're they're saying, oh, hi, I am here. I am your fractal Olivia. I am your fractal this. It's like they're introducing themselves to me and to us. So if you're receiving names, we're all encouraged to write these names down because they mean something. They're messages of some form, either from your guides, your fractals, or maybe they're to guide you to go look something up because there's a message for you in that process of looking it up. And so when I'm seeing them or hearing them or they're introducing themselves, it creates threads for me to start to follow. And whatever I'm most excited about following, I know that there's a message for me there. Because part of what I wanted to share with all of you in these gatherings is what actually happens to us when we're speaking light languages. Like what's actually happening in my head right now. And what am I seeing and what am I feeling and what am I hearing? These are the things that I'm being more and more guided to share with all of you, because we can talk light languages and we can talk about them. But what I'm not hearing is out there is this. What's happening to you when you're hearing them? What's happening to you when you're speaking them? I want to know. I want to know what's happening to you. I want to know, like, what happens to me physically is almost indescribable. It's like a bliss that you just sort of touch and you're like, you're so surprised by how it feels that you want more of it. But it's almost a little scary because you're like, wow, that's pretty big and pretty loving. And I'm not sure I've ever experienced anything like that before. How can I go back into that without, and so every day, and this has been for how many years I've been speaking light language now, this still doesn't change for me as far as that goes. It's a constant sending and receiving of information and names and visions and star systems, past lives, because they're not past, they're right now. They're parallel realities that we're accessing moment by moment. This is what light languages help us do. They help us access that information. And then if we allow and we ask and we listen and we receive, we unlock the information that tells us how to utilize this information right here, right now. How do I apply this in my 3D reality to make the reality that I choose? But also because we are higher dimensional frequency beings now. Everybody's sitting in this room, anybody watching this channel, anybody watching these videos, you're all there. You've all agreed. Hi, Will. Hi, Shiny. Love you guys. Hey, Jess. I didn't get to say hi to you either, sweetie. Love you guys. So happy that you're here. It unlocks all of this inside of us. And it helps us understand when we share these experiences of what's happening within us while we're speaking them, signing them, toning, singing, experiencing, channeling, we're giving each other permission to explore more and more of that which we are, and unlocking that within us, unlocking that authentic core vibrational music that you are. And as we share with each other, there is nothing more valuable than that. Nothing. Hey, Alicia Temple, beautiful. How you doing, doll? Maria, hey, how are you? What would you like to add to that, Bree? And then anybody else who'd like to maybe raise your hand if you'd like to offer any light languages or comments or anything, questions about anything we've talked about, please do. No.
Wendy, where do you feel like that language is coming from? Which part of the galactic diaspora area?
It's just, there's just too many. It's more about a gathering today. That whole thing was all about that today. It was about embracing more about that and losing You
But
know,
I was
losing
hiding
losing the identification and becoming more of our fictional, of our authentic selves, that's what they're saying is about the losing the need to identify that stuff and embracing that all of my fractals are talking to everybody right now. So that's the answer for you. That is the answer. And that's the answer for everybody to that question right now.
Wait, there's a reason why I'm asking the question.
No, I understand that. And the reason I answered it is because that's the way I was supposed to answer it. So that's that. That was the answer to that question. And that's the way it needed to be answered. So, I mean, and I understand, but that is so thank you for the question, because that was the way it needed to be answered. But again, I understand, because everybody wants to know who is that, what is that, what star system, what, but this is part of the training, guys. This is part of the master class. Sometimes you need to lose that. And so that's part of the answer to that question is that's why they said they're all introducing themselves, because it wasn't just from one place. They're from all of my places. Angels all the way down, or the beginning of the first spark to 3D reality. That's what they're trying to say was we're all speaking. We're all represented. That's what the emissaries, the light collectors, said to me that day in the forest. We're here and we represent every realm and density and dimension, because that's what you want to experience. And that's what you want to share so that other people can experience that. So it's an excellent question. Excellent question. So thank you for that, Sarah. I appreciate that.
And I wanted to also say about,
oh, go ahead.
In regards to what you were talking about, I think this is really important information for us to ask ourselves more often, is paying attention to what our light language is doing for you, for all the layers of your body, for all the layers of your being. What experiences are you having? And by us being able to share these experiences, it helps other people validate what they've gone through. Because like Wendy said, some of this can be a little bit like confusing, odd, strange. There's so many questions, like what is going on here? Is this for real? Am I making this up? I will say the first time I started speaking light languages, my logical mind was kicking in saying, you're making this up. This is garbage. This is a bunch of babbling. This is this is silly. It's your imagination. It's just silly. It's silly. It's silly. And I think anytime that we expand into gifts and psychic abilities and telepathy, and a lot of times there's that aspect of how we used to live that comes to chime in and says, this doesn't make sense to the level of consciousness that this fractal of me is at. This level of consciousness is not understanding. And so it's good for us to kind of, I think, talk about it. So I'm glad you said that, Wendy. And I think it's very important. And so in terms of opening up the room for other people to share, I think I will open it up if anybody who has joined here would like to share some light languages or anything else going on with you. I know we have a few more people in the room now, so please let us know. You can raise your hand or something. And
hi, Will. Hi, Shiny.
Hi. And in the meantime, I will do a quick light language blessing. I am going to call it a blessing because
please do. Please do.
It is a blessing. Okay. And
Great.
that is my intention.
You're a blessing.
Oh, Wendy. As you are too.
Just wanted to share that.
Oh, just
wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. Yeah, we all are in our own ways and in ways we don't even understand. Just by breathing, we are blessings to this planet and to all that exists. So please don't forget that. I think it's very important. Oh, wait, before I go into it, Jessica raised her hand. Hey, Jessica, what's up?
Jessica, hi, darling.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Just thank goodness you bye. My boyfriend's leaving. Have a good night. Love you. Bye. You talked about the artist not needing anything but oneself because you think you need the tablet and the special blah blah blah. So it's the best thing. It was 3 years ago. Yeah, when I was illustrating my first children's book. I was staying with a girlfriend of mine who had 2 kids, and one of them was like my little unicorn. I want to say she was like 10, and I kept losing my magic pencil, which is my iPad pencil, which is what I did all my work on. Constantly, I'd like, lost my magic pencil, lost my magic pencil. And she left me this note, and I just found it from Facebook, and I'll share it with you guys later. But she wrote and put my magic pencil next to it. The magic pencil isn't the thing you need, because I'm just saying I don't think you need it, because I'm pretty sure that you could be as cool as you are without it.
Oh my God.
Like a 10-year-old. Because I was always freaking out about the magic pencil. I lost my magic pencil, and I just came back to the house, and this little note is written out by a 10-year-old.
And this is literal and metaphoric, you guys. We think we need, it doesn't work. You cannot wait till conditions are perfect to act before you act, because they're perfect every moment. It doesn't work that way. You cannot, you've got to make it happen.
Yeah.
And
channel the wisdom of the child. The child is the little elder. They are wise.
that was great,
And
Jessica. Thank you
I
very
just
much
wanted
for
to share
sharing
that.
that. I appreciate that a lot. See, this is what I'm talking about. Share everything. Share everything. That was such a huge, what's even weirder about this is I haven't even read or shared with you guys what I originally am going to read and share with you, which is even weirder because it's also something that I found written from a long time ago. That's what's so funny about it. So thank you for sharing that, Jessica. I really appreciate that.
Don't make me think.
I love you. I love you, girl. Who else? Who else? You would you like to share, or is anybody raising their hands?
Shiny said that he would be willing to say hello.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, I love you.
Hey, Sean.
How you doing?
I'm doing so good. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic that I'm here with you guys. You guys have made my day.
Yay! Oh, I love you. Would you like to share something today with us?
Yes. Yatanoni atiani ashana anaka ete akowa mai siato nayata wa moyata setke e wa moya te yashiaso alakana e te yaso so moya tokoto moya nayata na shiasa sakoto do wa moa wa manana heaka e te yashiaso no niatana wa nana heatola yakata sikianata ukototo wa friato shiasono alakana etea ya moyati shia so sunana sonata wapoya teata e keanana e shia sona yakanata wa tanasia shikiatia nia sanania wamo waya kai shia so moya tana yeteania so yanana ukayata alaka shia so susunia moyata tokoto. Oh no miakana yakono shiasi so stunni wa moya tanae alakaete te kapania toko doshi ashiasi kia nanaya wahia shiaso sosone awae te akala ale yakona sayatoya shai toko tono wafu moya tanana ete ashiaso dono mai te anaya tolia shiasi yakonana takayako wa moya tanasa alakayata ete amoya tai shiasu moya tonea wa moya tana yakana ete ashi koto do denia tana na hehia wa moya tai ashiasi sokonono wamoya tanana wata shamanana yeke yaniafia shike yakowa shiano yashia sono no ya towa wayefia shia soto no ne wamoya tanai kiana ala kaete ashiasa sanana ya wamoya tanana yata yashi shia soko toko donona ya wamoya tanaso wamoya tananiata yataniashiasia soso moyata kanyatoli naniata nayata yashiaso siakodoria. Thank you.
Oh, Sean, thank you. Nashaviano ba esheneteki itavashano balakofasha seteve ina balakofasha teve leal malakotavakea tarih setaki sevashanapiki afasano balakifasano ishanamiana malakofa eshenateveke. You know, Sean, I was just thinking about something as you were speaking. Well, I was thinking about a lot of things and seeing a lot of things, but as you were speaking, I was thinking about how much I've always admired you, because even when we first met, and I don't even think I was speaking light languages yet, or we were just meeting and just speaking them. And you were one of the people in my life that truly epitomized being their authentic selves and helping me be that. And the things and all of the encouragement that you gave me and the support and the loving, always saying to me, you are destined for great things. You are, all so pure. It was just so pure. And I wanted to tell you what a catalyst that was for me, for catapulting me to what I'm doing today and all of this. And you kept encouraging me. And even though we didn't get to communicate or talk very often, you sometimes you would just send me a message just saying, you know what, Wendy, keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is important, and don't ever stop. And just that right at the right time is exactly what it needed to hear. So I think it's important for us to acknowledge that with each other, and the parts that we play in each other's journeys, and how very, very crucial and important that was for me, Sean. So thank you. I just wanted to say that to the world out loud, if I haven't already.
Well, I'm just a reflection of the universe, so it's the universe that speaks and acts through me. So you should kind of be thinking, source or the universe. I am merely a vessel.
You're just so humble. I just love you. Thank you, Sean. You are a beautiful reflection. So thank you. I like that a lot. So
by the way, you are
Elena, baby. Oh, go ahead, Sean.
I just want to say everyone here and is listening, they're absolutely fantastic and awesome. You guys are so beautiful. Your energies and your souls. Thank you very much for gathering here.
Shiny, we are one. Always one, and one is all. So yes. You are beautiful because you love us and we love you. Come on.
And it's so nice again to be with so many old friends and new friends, because all of you are just all family. We're all the same soul family. We're all teachers of teachers. It's why we're all here. So thank you all for being here and stepping up to the master class.
I will never forget the moment that me and Shiny Sean were in a Hukulo, something like a class meditation of telepathy, and we had to choose different colors for each other. Do you remember, Shiny? We were thinking, yeah.
I forget everything. Just a load of stuff.
It's normal. I forget everything too. Yeah. But when we had to connect, he was thinking of me, of choosing a color, and it was like goldish white, and it was exactly what I was thinking about. So this telepathy was so good connected in between the whole collective energy. I mean, the circle and the whole vibe and the flow. Amazing. Just amazing. Amazing, Shiny Sean. Amazing.
Well, you're amazing too. You are.
That's super cool, like telepathic exercises. So was it, Elena, was it just like, let's play an exercise, you're going to have a partner, they're going to think of a color, and then is that kind of how it went down, or?
Something like that. Yeah, we were trying to make like partnership telepathy communications. It was a little bit long ago, maybe year or 2 years ago. I
It
don't
was a
remember.
while.
It was a while
I
because
used to do that with do you remember Jaguar? I used to do that with Jaguar.
Yeah,
Every time Jaguar would come in a hangout, we would practice telepathically, what fruit am I holding? It was always a piece of fruit. What fruit am I? Always.
Oh, Sheldon did that too. Sheldon would do that a lot.
Yes, that's right.
And one time,
so freaking
and
awesome.
one time, Sheldon, he goes,
we gotta find Sheldon.
He goes, what fruit am I holding? And all of a sudden he pulls, like it was literally on his desk, coconut. And I'm just, why do you have like a big, giant, full shelled coconut? So that's cool though. I think that's a really good, like for kids and stuff. How cool would it be as a kid in first grade, second grade, for some person to say, hey, let's play a telepathic exercise. Yeah. And then and I know that kids already do this, but it is.
Oh, heck yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. It's awesome. Cool.
That is awesome.
Oh, thanks for sharing that.
I wanted to remind Shiny, Sean, for how awesome we are all together. Like without him, how you say, mirroring the energy, and we mirroring his energy to us, and all this collective acceleration of all this amazing high vibration that we create. This would be inevitably not possible if we don't do it together. Every part of the puzzle matters.
It's very true. It's very true. We're all a part of this, and we all play a huge part in this more than we understand. So thanks, Elle. It's nice to have you here.
I will start you with the what was this? The Paris.
Are you kidding me? You actually have you have an Eiffel Tower. I live in Paris, Tennessee, next to Paris, Tennessee, and we have a little Eiffel Tower. You're cracking me up, girl.
I will trigger the discussion with this one.
You're so funny. Look at you. You know what, girl? You and me one day. Me and you one day in Paris. Totally.
Yeah. As Nikki said many lifetimes ago, je comprends.
Oh, yes.
Et je parlais. Oui,
Nikki, man, she's awesome. Hey, Nikki.
I think
awesome.
The group is
love you, girl.
The group will be very big tonight. A lot of viewers are coming to view, not to join, but none of the less, we'll have a big collective group today. It's coming.
Hey, it's always a party when you come to this hangout. Imagine what's going on up there. A lot of people come to this party. Zinnia. Oh my God. Girl, she's out there too. Hey, and then I saw Ivan too. Oh, Ivan. I don't know if he's out there. I don't know if he can see.
Yeah, he is.
Show him what I got. Ivan.
Well, he was. Wait, hold on. Let me see. I don't know if he's
the wolf pack, baby.
I don't think he's still watching. Oh, wait, hold on, Wendy. There's no video. Hold on.
Oh, show everybody my video. Hang on. Everyone
I'm
has
trying.
to see my wolf pillow.
I'm trying. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. There's something very strange. Can anybody in the room here see Wendy's? Oh, there you are. Okay.
See, I'm too slow.
Here, I'll do the grid view.
The wolf pack, guys.
You have no video.
It's the wolf pack.
It's very strange.
What? See, it must be my signal then.
This whole webinar, your video has been really laggy, but we can still hear you, and that's the most important
well, I guess that's
part
all that's important.
Yeah. Although it's lovely to see you. Oh, now I see the pillow. Okay, we got a glimpse of the wolf pillow.
Do you? Okay.
So thank you, Wendy. Will said that he would be willing.
Sure.
Will said that he would be willing.
Will's willing?
You're probably always getting Will jokes with your name being Will.
Well,
Yeah.
the question is, Will,
The will of will.
what are you willing, Will? What are you
God.
willing, Will?
It's too much.
The testimony of will, willing, and the will of will.
Oh, wait a
I'm
minute.
just laughing.
There. Okay, now we're good. Of course you are. How's it going, Will?
Thank you for all the jokes. Yari hakana no
How's it going, Will?
hoshikaya.
Yeah, so the Russian India. Guess what, Will? Guess what? It's
What, Wendy?
2:22.
Yachari
2:22 my
akaskanari.
time.
Hiskata uruhuturisha. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the theme. I didn't know what they were going to speak about, or if it was just going to be me pulling it out. But apparently, we're speaking about duality and unity, since it's 222.
Authentic selves.
Yes.
Authentic selves. That's what we're talking about. Our authentic selves.
Allowing the unity of your true authentic self to come through in this dualistic world that's ever changing.
With a sense of humor.
Of course. Okay, wait. Okay, so just for that, a light language joke. Okay. Sisikia na chichukohoa sasaka titicha arna haso oto chicha akuni. Hisha shaya nanana ariata kaha shayata ariatana.
Yeah.
Siya kata nanana ariata koto harishaya.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay, you're thinking about it too much. Bree's not getting it. If you have to repeat the joke, it's not funny.
Can you repeat that joke?
Yeah, probably not, since it was channeled.
Maybe it's more like what's long and wide and never ending. It's your thought process.
I feel like that's one of the jokes that I would make.
That was
That's a long statement of some really existential idea. And then at the end, it's like, like the waking blah, 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 blah. And then I smile and somebody looks at me like, That's the kind of joke I just got from that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Will.
So every now is an opportunity to come back into alignment into your true authentic self. And because of our human experience, we so like to judge ourselves for not being in alignment. And if we just chill for a sec, take a couple of deep breaths, and when we breathe with intention, yata nana yata, we can forget about all that judgment and we can just be our true authentic self. So they're going to elaborate now. So I invite you to listen with an open heart and allow the language to penetrate you and allow your heart to tell you what it means to you. Cha'arihi katana no uchu to watido. Isahana ratekacharho. Iarata kachar sahanani uto tawata chichikanano. Tahasasa kanani hititio torawa. Koruhura nata adaskahi titiasakaino. Una hatatichia ta hanana skatititia. Chahara dakatanana hariatoro. Shariata arhanana shashakayaka shanana tsoko uchahata uruta tanawachati titiatar hananano hokocho urahanata isakatana nioto oranona nawahasasichi chohoko totonanaria tititishaya tatana nioko Urhatata kasanana atatitidia shasha. I hananara atakoto horsao. Shashahi titihinana hototo. Shishihi ni hanaha kutunano. I shashakanono no hoto kujawaraha. Isanana harayataka shashashaya. Exactly, Wendy. Ni hatakara hatanana ni soko. Ichahata nani titi kohoa. Ishashahanana na ota kashawayaha. Itahaniata kota. Ishahaya askananara rogoda roa. Arhasana nahataka shisawa. No. I know you got stuff to respond to, Wendy. Nihiskona nanani chichawarawatani isa. Arahananiataka. Whenever you're ready. Nihiskona no hutu tu shasha wananahi isa.
Oh yeah, just so many visions of things. So much that I've learned. So much we've learned, all of us together, about becoming our authentic selves. Letting the barriers down. And I was just thinking about, like, even Arkansas and all of the things that have led up to all of us becoming more of our authentic selves.
Speaking of Arkansas,
and it was funny because I was thinking, I know, Bree, I know.
Did you see the picture?
I saw it.
Okay,
Yes.
I interrupted you. I got
immediately
so
as soon as you, no, it's fine. As soon as you posted it, I'm like, son of a gun. She picked the picture from Arkansas when we're looking out at Era. I'm just like, son of a gun. I can't. The picture that Bree used today for my post for Facebook.
Well, it's in Facebook. Yeah, it's also on your blog page, the list of all the blogs. Yeah,
but it's not. Yeah, and it's right, exactly. So she posted on my blog for today's hangout.
I'll put a link to the blog in the live chat.
She's got the folder. And I just let her pick them every week. And she chooses from my photo, she chooses whatever to post. And so she just happened to post the picture, Will, today of that vista from the hill. And I was just like, so even that was a whole synchronicity for me. And then Fort Lauderdale and all of that and all kinds of stuff was coming through as you're talking about. And then I was reminded, which is something I'm going to read really quick here in a second, about how many people became so much more their authentic selves that weekend. And Jose was one of them. And that was one of the things I wanted to read today, was a gentleman that, if he happens to be watching, hey, Jose, he always has to work during these hangouts. So I'm hoping to do some more hangouts later so some of these people can come in. But at any rate, he came to the event in Florida and overnight started speaking light languages. And there was a few other interesting synchronicities. But so I was thinking about that too, as you were speaking, Will, about how so much had happened in these gatherings with all of us, and how much has happened even just since Florida, and how much all of that was such a releasing of barriers of even me becoming my authentic self. And so I was seeing a lot of that as you were speaking. So I'm not sure exactly what that was what I was gathering from that. And of course, each of us, when we listen to light languages, which is another thing that's important to say, is that each and every one of us are always going to have a different interpretation and a different response and a different physiological experience. Every one of us from the same message.
Oh, I thought my audio went out, but Wendy went out, and Wendy was my audio.
Yep.
Hi, Wendy.
I'm back. Or am
Welcome
I?
back.
Am I back?
You
Welcome
are back.
Yep.
Here, I thought my computer was like having a problem.
Yeah, we all did, but authentic selves are not so authentic without the collective energy around them to
Yeah.
appreciate the authenticity in a way.
Indeed.
So,
Indeed.
yeah.
And I am deeply appreciating authenticity. That's why nowadays, like even, you know, there are movies, check out the new blockbuster film shot on an iPhone. It's what is happening, right? So, and part of it is people want to see authenticity. Now we're sick of the fake, we're sick of the mask, we're sick of the editing, we're sick of, I'm not saying a little bit for the effect that you want, but it's been a lot of fakeness here, lots of living inauthentically and acting inauthentically and thinking we have to do that to survive, and we're moving out of that completely. And a part of this is it's just us being us, right? Us being real. And Wendy is really good at that. She's back in the room, I hope. There you are.
Yeah.
I see your smiling face. Your pause.
Yeah, I'm good at being real, ain't I?
You are
good
good
at
at
being
being. Yes.
But just I laugh because, you know, it's been a long time, and I don't know how many people remember that particular acronym, WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Only old computer people know that. But that's what a keyboard is, the WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. And I'm like, yeah, that kind of explains me a little bit. Pretty much.
Oh my gosh. So you were talking. Yes.
Okay.
Well, kind of, yes.
Okay,
and you were still talking to
that's
Will.
what I want to know.
When you cut out.
Hi, Will. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of finish that thought. So I guess that thought was finished. But I wanted to continue with that as a segue. As long as you can hear me, okay, Bree. I wanted to read what Jose wrote, and I just want to make sure you guys can hear it. And I'll share it and post it if you guys want, if I get choppy or something. But so Jose started speaking light languages overnight at the event in Florida that Bree and I just did in August, this past August. So it's only been a couple of months. God, it feels like a year ago or more. It feels like a lifetime, but it feels like yesterday. And so Jose started speaking light languages overnight at the event. And then a short time later, he sent me a private thing, and he said a private message, and he said, this is a channeling that came through, and I wanted to share it with you because he felt that he channeled it. He said he felt because of what was unlocked with him, with his light languages and so forth. So I've been meaning to share this with all of you, and I thought today was a good day to do that. So he writes, and it's relatively brief, and he writes, we have to keep creating a solution to be wholly happy, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And some of this is capitalized too. So I will send you so you can see his actual.
I'm actually going to display it while you're reading it because I can. Because I'm cool.
Okay, and if I start to break up, then read it for me, okay?
Whoop, whoop.
So can you see it?
Cool.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
He's so good.
Go for it.
So because let's face it, we're infinite beings who lives eternally. Would you want to hit a brick wall and remain stagnant? That would be boring and sometimes even painful, as you had observed. Create because we are indeed part of the greatest creator, which is all of us combined. The one is the all, and the all are the one. And that is true. Absolutely, Jose. Physically, because we are in a material physical world. And that's one of the reasons that we created and came in here on earth, to experience something positive in a physical level. We have to keep transforming ourselves to become a better being in this another reality or illusion of yesterday time that we made. We light workers have to do this to balance out the negativity in this side of the universe. And also be the gentle God you can and want to be. A limited supply of energy to make that happen will evidently just flow right through if you let that become you. Just be persistently kind. If a brick wall or hardship arise, read this whole thing again. And that, my loved one, is called an infinite loop of positivity that never stops growing lovingly and will continue to be that, all that there is. That's why I'm guided to do what I do, because I get that kind of stuff. And that is
amen.
And that is amazing. So
Yeah.
I
First automatic writing.
asked his permission. Exactly. And that's what automatic writing is. And I asked him when he sent it me if I could share that publicly with all of you. And of course, he was absolutely delighted for me to do so. And so I wanted to explain, because this is just another example of how when we apply light languages in our lives without any kind of expectation or preconceived notions, this is what can come out. And automatic writing has been a part of my life all my life. I've always been a writer, always wanted to be a writer. You know, and so now I get to express myself in not only writing, but all of these different ways. And so I wanted to share that with you. And speaking of writing, so it was interesting because anyone who's had a private session with me, or even pre-recorded stuff, I turn to my arsenal of permission slips, if you will, whether it's be crystals, writings, readings, oracle cards, things like that, depending on the nature of the session. And I prepare by letting my guides show me, what does this person need? What do we need together? What do we need to explore and talk about? What would be synchronistic perhaps for this person? And so I just get this information that comes in. And so as I was preparing for a private session yesterday, and I think it came out, actually I found it the day before that. And so because often the day before a session, I will start like getting information, receiving and getting messages and notes and symbols and things like that. And so all of which I share with everyone. And so anyway, I picked up a book that I hadn't picked up in a long time. And out of it fell a piece of paper, 2 pieces of paper actually, that my mother had written to me, handwritten. She was not the author. So Mom, if you're watching, love you. Talk about full circle. And she wrote this to me, and I'm trying to remember what year, or, how many years ago it was. And when I received it, I want to say it was probably about 10 or 15 years ago, I'm guessing. And because it's not dated, but, and it's funny because she and I have like almost identical penmanship. So it's kind of interesting. So this fell out, and it was interesting because when we were talking in the session, I said, you know what, I think this is something that is going to be shared with everybody tomorrow. And so, and it actually is called the fictional self. When you're not living faithfully to your authentic self, you find yourself incomplete, a hole in your soul. It's easier to fill the roles your family and friends expect of you, rather than becoming who you really want to be. Living this way drains you of the critical life energy you need to pursue things you truly value. And if I can get through this without crying, you guys, it's going to be a miracle. When you live a lifetime that has you ignoring your true gifts and talents while performing assigned or inherited roles instead, you are living as your fictional self. The fictional self sends you false information about who you are and what you should be. Doing with your life what you should be doing with your life. It blocks the information you need in order to maintain the connection with your authentic identity. Relying on information from the fictional self means you're putting your trust in a broken compass. Well, you guys, I'm going to tell you, if this couldn't have been more perfect timing, and again, we have to remember something about how we create physical reality. There is no past and there is no future. This was created and written right now for me right now. That's how this works. Memories are right now. The future right now. All of it's right now. This was written right now for me because I needed to hear it now, and yet I've read this things. I cannot tell you how many times I've read this over and over and over throughout my life since she's given it to me. And yet here I am, you guys, finally, after all these years, finally. This is my story right here. These 2 pieces of paper, what I just read you, my entire life story right here. Now I get to do this and live my authentic self. That's what I think why this needed to be shared today and in public with all of you in this setting, in this way, for me and for all of us. And so I wanted to thank Jose publicly for allowing me to share that private channeling with everyone, and the fact that he did it and it followed this amazing, truly life-altering event. And everyone in that room, their life was changed in some way, shape, or form. Mine and Bree's, like, can't even explain how ours have changed since. And so that's was the whole message all week for me for today, was about living our authentic selves, listening to our fictional self tell us things that are not true about what we really want. And it's a different identity that's speaking. And every single word in here couldn't have been more perfect for me. And so I know it's perfect for someone else out there too. And
yeah, Wendy,
so
actually,
thanks, Mom.
oh my gosh, it's so amazing how, you found that
And
right
again,
now.
she
And I
didn't
know
write
how,
it. She didn't author it.
right.
But she
gave
wrote
it to
it
you.
for me. So she copied it. So I just wanted to make that clear to everybody, because if you find it out there on the internet, I don't know who authored it. I really don't know. And I would love to give them credit. So if anybody finds it, let me know, because I'd like to know. My mom, she couldn't remember either. She
But
copied it out of, I think, a magazine or something. I don't remember.
sorry to interrupt, but what I really loved in this
No, go
was
ahead.
that always one and one is all, and we are all together in this flow. So we shouldn't forget that authentic self is always created with the all is one and one is all. This is what I was telling to a friend of mine earlier today, and I really love that we got in the subject of this authentic self, but not forgetting that we're doing it for a higher purpose and to help a little bit bigger crowd than ourselves. Of course, loving ourselves first and foremost, in order to realize that loving everyone else matters. In order to understand what love is, we have to love ourselves first, but always one and one is all. That's it.
And that's very well said, Elena, because that's what that was all about, was becoming and living our authentic self and truth is the way we serve the highest. That is the only way we can. The only way.
And
I
the
wish
only
there
way
was an easier answer, but there isn't.
And it's the
there
only
just
way
isn't.
And it's the only way we can find ways to help others, because if we don't find our authentic self, we cannot show personal example of how things are done by loving ourselves first, finding higher purpose, and showing them how it's done with a personal example, which is the most important thing. Show a personal example. Otherwise, it's only words.
You know what? You're right too, Elena, because that's what this is all about. This isn't about talking about love or telling what people, it's about just living the example. Just do it, live it, and you're it. So that's really great. Ivy, Liliana, my girl. Hey, girl. Ivy, girl. Oh, crap. I got your package today and I didn't get to open it yet. Shit.
Sarah is also here. I think Sarah.
Sarah's here too.
Sarah.
Oh my God.
Sarah.
I just want to let you know, it just got picked up at the mailbox and I haven't even had a chance to open it yet. I'm so excited.
Open it now. Come on, open it. Oh,
No.
Oh, I
perfect.
just told you I was going to say.
No, I'm not opening it live. No, I don't even know what it is. I'm not going to open.
Come
Well, she can
on.
tell me if I can open it live, I guess, but I'm not doing that.
You don't remember what it is?
Give her permission to open it. We need a surprise.
Oh, wait a second. She told me she was going to send
Remember
it
what-
to me.
Yeah. It just took me a minute to get to
already-
town when the post office was open.
I'm like, I already forgot. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Never mind. I'm not going to, I don't need to share it. Never mind. I know what it is.
You're silly. Hi, Ivy.
Sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry.
The cat
Lily.
giver.
I'm glad you're
Ivy
here.
is
Lily.
the cat giver.
Yes.
The cat giver.
And there's
Um,
Oh, where is he?
where's your cat, Wendy?
He's
Yeah,
He's right here.
surrounded.
He's
right
sleeping
now.
right
Oh,
here.
there's
Where is
He's
one behind me.
Cosmo?
Ivy. He's sleeping right here next to me. He is
Aw.
just magic.
Oh.
He's sleeping right here. He's been here the whole time. You guys sleeping here. If you guys know, and if you saw a couple of episodes ago, I got a new little kitten, Ragabob, a rag doll, and a Tennessee bobtail, and he's just like, he's pure white, blue eyes, the most magical ever little being I think ever existed. And Ivy was delivered him to my door, driving in 5.5 hours in the pouring rain to deliver another one to another family. And so and he's thriving and he's doing wonderful and he's excellent. He's in great shape, excellent health, everything's negative that's supposed to be negative. So we're all good. And yeah, he's doing really, really well. So we're good to go.
Ivy,
He's
you're
already had his-
amazing.
He's had his vet visit. He passed with flying colors. So you did a great job, little mama. You did a wonderful job delivering my baby to me. So
Aw.
thank you, Mice. Yes,
Well,
he's wonderful. And so yeah,
his name is Cosmo. Yeah.
yes, Cosmo. His name is Cosmo. And I don't want to pick him up because he's sleeping. He's literally curled up in a little ball and I don't want to mess with him. So
I wanted to
he's
share
sleeping.
with you.
And it's
that
nice when he sleeps too.
Before I had my baby, Victoria, I had a cat, Angelina, that was exactly completely white with blue and green eye. And she got maybe 6 times, she gave 6 times birth completely to white kittens. And I gave them all away, of course. Yep. I gave so many kittens completely white, some with white, blue and green eyes, some with completely blue eyes. But this was amazing because Cosmo is one of these breeds. I think they're kind of a species on Earth. But I will speak
What
with
kind?
Ivy. It was a
Oh,
Persian
okay,
cat.
yes.
Yeah, it was a Persian cat, but
She only has what's your limit? 5-hour drive. So if you guys want one, you might have.
Oh, look at the kitty.
Yeah, they'll have to meet me.
I
Yeah.
see Jessica's kitty. Hi, kitty.
Oh, see, that's what Kaz is doing right here. Just like that, curled in a little ball.
That's sweet.
He's my little cotton ball.
Here's
He's
wait,
adorable.
hold on
You know
one
what?
second.
Oh, go ahead.
Here's a picture of
Jessica.
Wendy and Cosmo for people who have not seen.
Oh,
it's
is
hard
it
to
my
see 'em.
favorite picture? No.
It is not your favorite picture, but I
Yeah,
need to
that-
make the brightness.
Oh, do you have the
less
one with?
Right.
Do you have the picture, Bree, of the one with me holding him and
Oh.
what am I wearing? Oh, I'm in a.
Look at how sweet he
I
looks.
think I'm in black. Oh, see, can you guys see him? A good picture.
Oh,
Here, this one. That's what I was trying to show. Look at how pretty he is. Yeah, he's sweet. He's a sweetie. He's a sweetie. You're lucky, Wendy.
Sorry. I know. I am. I'm so blessed. Tell you what.
and
Ivy,
I wanted to read really quickly here, just so you know, Wendy, Taboo Taco, from what you had just read that your mom had given you, she said, I love this. Please post it somewhere if you can, so she can share it with her mom. So
I will. You know
on,
what? I'll
your blog
transcribe
or
it, you
on
guys.
Facebook?
Transcribe it. And, yeah. I'll
Where would you like?
transcribe it and I'll rewrite it. Rewrite it and then I'll post it on my blog.
On a blog. Okay, great. Cool.
Yeah, because it's too, you guys won't be able to read it. Even if I take a picture, you won't be able to read it because the pen, it's just too light, the pen. So I'll type it out and then I'll repost it for you guys. Okay. So that's part of my
Thank you.
writing group. That'll be part of my homework.
Cool. Okay. And then there's something that I wanted to share in regards to cool people doing cool things and sharing happiness and love and peace with each other and creating more smiles in the world. So I was lucky enough to meet a mutual friend of a friend who lives here in Wisconsin, where I live. And we went on a hike together, but I got to actually talk to him for the first time. We went on like this big group hike a few months ago, but this past weekend I got to actually speak with him, and he gives these cards to everybody that he meets. Okay, so it says connection through compassion. And there's beautiful artwork on here from somebody that he knows, who he puts a little, wait, hold on, let me do this. This will be better. There. Okay, so there's that. And then on the back, he has blank ones. I think he might also have ones that have been printed with sayings on them, but he has blank ones that you can write. So it says, your confidence manifests abundance. And this is the one. I knew you would, Wendy. This is the one that he first gave me, but yeah, but he's
given
given
back
me
of that card too, you guys.
Yes.
Oh my
so
God! Look
he
at the
knows
back
this
of that
artist.
card. That is badass. Wow.
Donna LaDiddy on Instagram. Now he has a website which is kindnesscard.com. And so I'm going to put the link to that in the YouTube live chat. But he said that he would be willing to ship these out to our audience or anybody that we know internationally. So if anybody would like some of these blank cards from him with the little, with the blank portion you can write on and connection through compassion, you can message me on Facebook, Brianna Hauk, or send Wendy a message or something and let us know so that I can get these. He will ship them to you.
You mean he's just going to send them out to you?
Yep.
Just for us to
This is what he
hand out?
does. Well, he will send them to anybody who
he'll
wants
just send
them.
who wants one.
But to us also. Okay.
I want
Great.
one.
Yep.
Great.
Let's spread them. Let's spread them throughout the world.
Yes, exactly. I think it's so cool. It's a really cool idea. His name's Skylar. It's spelled very interestingly. I don't know anybody who spells Skylar the way that his name is spelled. I love it. And he's a really cool guy. And he actually knew about light languages. So get this, Wendy. I don't think I got a chance to tell you, but this party that I went to this past weekend, and I haven't been to parties in a long time, but costume party.
Yeah,
that's funny. I went to a costume party too, and I haven't been to a party in years. Isn't that funny?
You still go to parties? Come on.
Mm-hmm. I dressed up like a dragon.
Man, what do you mean?
The only thing I had to wear was a dragon onesie that my friend gave me last year for my birthday. So I wore a dragon onesie because I'm like, well, this is simple. I'm a dragon, so But anyway, I was talking to him, and he knows about light languages, and he knows what they can do. And he was talking about the sacred geometry aspects of how it influences physical reality with the vibrations that come through light language and the purity. And I was just like, am I really having this conversation right now with this guy who I had no idea, right? So I had really cool conversations that whole time. And this is a part, again, of us coming out and being authentic, because I used to go to parties and be really shy and not talk to anybody, don't look at me, and oh my God, and I felt really awkward all the time. my daily existence just felt very awkward. So now I'm just like, yeah, oh yeah, you talking about the Mandela effect? I need to get in on this conversation. And I walked right over there and I'm like, okay, let's talk about the Mandela effect, because they were this group of random people and I got so excited. So it's a part, just like be yourself. It's just so amazing for the whole world for us to just shine and don't be worried about what people
and I got to
are.
laugh about that. Talk about authentic self, right, you guys? So I'm thinking, okay, costume party, what am I, I'm like, what am I? So all of a sudden it's like, oh, how about like being what you already are? So I'm like, oh, so I go as like a gypsy tarot card reader kind of thing. And I walk in the door. Now, mind you, not really kind of the thing that goes on around here. So I walk in, she's like, the hostess of the party. I walk in, she's like, Wendy, you look amazing. You look exactly as I thought you were going to come. So talk about somebody seeing my authentic self. And I said, well, yeah, I kind of sort of dress like this sort of kind of all the time. And she says, yeah, I know. That's why I like you. She says, I knew you were going to do that. And here I'm like, all worried about, but see, this is the thing where we play with belief systems. And then she says, so are you the entertainment for tonight? And I said, well, I did bring my card. She says, oh, that's scary. I said, don't worry. I only brought my angel card. She says, oh, that's okay. And I'm like, but again, and not like that, Bree, the funny thing about it is here, you and I hadn't been at a party, and you and I both had, like, I had some life-changing conversations about authentic selves, and you being, and so it's funny how that night we were both in our authentic self state of being.
Yes, we were, and it was awesome.
You know what I mean? And it
makes it so much fun.
So many things happened that I talked about, like stuff I talked about. I never would have thought I would have talked or shared that night. That night at all. So very interesting. So
it's awesome.
I wanted to say hi to Liliana, and I want to say hi to Dolores. How are you, dear? Hi. I told everybody about you sharing that audio clip with me. That was really amazing, girl. That was really good.
Thank you. Hello to everyone.
Powerful as always. Of course, she takes me to other dimensions,
Thank you. I'm happy because of that.
I bet you are. Oh, I'm so happy you're happy. Yes, and I wanted to
we are happy. That's all better.
Dolores. I have to say, and I want to say again to this out loud to everybody. Dolores and I also had a really, really wonderful conversation, and since last Wednesday, and I wanted to say again to you, to everyone out loud, because of these gatherings, because of light languages, because I never would have met you probably if not for light languages, because that's the context in which we met. And Dolores and all of you in this room, not kidding, every one of you, have played an integral part in me becoming my authentic self. And what specifically you and my friend Pam, hey girl, if you're watching, love you, and Bree, and the things that we've shared have been monumental for me, life-changing for me, and I just wanted to thank you for your love and your support, and the talk about breaking down barriers, and just knowing when it's okay to say something and share something, and when you know your heart's telling you you're safe with this person. And that, to me, you guys, has been something that I truly haven't ever experienced since I met all of you. Not really. So it's important because I have this format, I have this platform, I have voice, and I can say these things now. I can say them publicly. And that to me is about as authentic as you can get. And so I wanted to let you know that, Dolores, that, you know, out loud for everybody to hear that what you did for me was invaluable, like truly. And so it's important that we express these things to each other, because it's important for us to know the role and that we play with each other's lives, and how we really do when we least expect it, which is interesting, because the conversation never meant to go any particular direction. It actually started about more like business stuff. And yet it was as if I knew, because I had been really asking my guides for clarity, answers, someone that I could reflect off of. And then she asked, did I want to hang out? And actually it was last Wednesday, and it was either live or afterward when we were hanging out after we went off live.
The day after,
After. Okay. And she said, I'd like to talk to you, you know, do you have time to hang out? And I knew right away, as soon as she said that to me last Wednesday, that was my guides telling me, this is your answer that you were looking for. You need to make sure you make time for this. And so it was one of the most important sequences of events that could have happened. So I just want to thank you for that, because the reason too is because you almost hesitated to even ask me, you know, if I could hang out, or because, you know, you're so busy, and, you know, so, but I knew, it was like, I knew in that moment I had to make sure you and I spent time together. So I could go on, but that's what I wanted to say. So thank you. I love you. And thank you for, thank all of you for letting me be able to say that out loud.
Thank you. I believe that you in America have one way to say it, ditto or something like that.
I use that word all the time. And you know what?
No.
Most people don't even know what the word actually means. Now, I know there's a couple people in this room who know what a ditto machine is. It's an actual machine, you guys, that actually was the old way of being able to reproduce. I forgot about this.
This is a surprise to me.
In school, the teachers would sit in the classroom. It's called a ditto machine. You guys Google it, dudes. We're talking ancient shit here. We're talking before fax machines, before copy machines. This was the first copy machine. A ditto machine was, the teacher would sit and reproduce from one sheet of paper. She would reproduce copies to hand out to the class, literally turning a crank. See, I'm doing it. Turning the crank, and it would literally, somebody explain this better than I am.
And it had that purple ink that smelled so good.
What?
It did. The ink smelled so good. It was like the early days of, like smelling markers. It was like, what's that smell?
How we ended on the machines.
Yes, Dave. I knew Dave was going to have to explain it. I know he'll explain it better.
There's a sheet that had ink on one side of it, just like the checks that would write underneath and copy it, what was underneath it. But there's a whole sheet. So you draw on that sheet, and underneath on the back of that sheet, the ink would come up and get stuck on the paper backwards. And it was a special kind of ink. And then you put that piece of paper in a machine that had liquid in it, that you crank the machine around and around. It would suck a piece of paper in and transfer the back of the sheet onto a new blank sheet, and you kept cranking for every paper you wanted. So if you had like 20 kids in class, you'd write out the assignment and you'd crank it 20 times. And then as soon as the kids got the sheets, it would still smell, because it was
still, the whole room smelled.
Smelly. And you smell it,
on your hands. You could.
Wow.
I shouldn't say this.
Wasn't it called wasn't it called a mimeograph machine?
Mimeograph.
Right? Okay. It was a called a mimeograph machine. So
You know, I only know Pokemon. So thanks to Pokemon, there's a Pokemon called Ditto, and it's a big purple blob, and it morphs into whatever Pokemon whatever it sees, it will copy it. So that's my that's all I know about Ditto.
I know
we
it.
got Ditto machine.
I
Now
know
you
it
know
from
Ditto
the
was-
I know it from the film Ghost. In that way, I say it, or I said it. Okay.
Yeah. Ditto, I think, is the manufacturer. It's called, yeah, it was called the mimeograph machine. Was it Will who just put that up?
Oh,
on the
that's funny.
screen?
Will says,
Yeah.
how to use a 1960s Ditto machine, mimeograph, spirit duplicator, and photocopier.
Spirit duplicator?
The ghost.
So
Perfect.
that's funny. Oh my God, you guys are cracking me up, man.
That's the YouTube link. Oh, you didn't put it in the YouTube live chat. You only put it in the, okay. Well, there we
No,
go.
Will
That's the
did.
title of a YouTube
Will put-
video. He did not put the
gotta
link
be
in the YouTube live chat.
I put it in
Wow.
both.
Actual
I put it in
video?
both.
Oh my
You-
God. So y'all
Thank
got your,
you.
Y'all got your education. Everyone got their Ditto machine education today. So there you have.
There
I
it
swear to
is.
God, I use that word Ditto all the time. Every time somebody says something to me and I agree, I say Ditto back. And then it didn't occur to me though that some people might not even know what that means. Like Bree, did you even know? Well, did you know when I say Ditto, that's really what it meant?
Thanks to Pokemon.
Thanks
Okay.
to Ghost film.
Thanks
Yep.
to Pokemon.
Thanks to Pokemon. I do.
Hilarious. Oh my God, that's really
I
funny.
thought that all of you
Oh,
know
you guys.
what it means.
So,
Very-
I'm sorry.
Yes, if
Oh, would Dolores or anybody else here like to share some light languages?
Yes, please, because we're probably going to wrap up pretty soon. You guys don't have to leave once we go off live. You're free to stay, jump in. If you guys want to jump in after we go off live, you guys can still go to my YouTube, go to my website.
Yeah.
Go to my
You can
website
still
and
join
you guys
the-
can still
the room.
jump in and hang out.
Yeah.
okay.
Even if we're off live, you can still jump in. So anybody who wants to, if you didn't want to be live and you want to jump in, I forget to tell people that. And also, Bree, while I'm thinking about it, because I really don't want to forget about it, on the Wake TV thing, if you guys are interested in subscribing, I believe it's going to be $9.99 a month. Subscribe to subscribe to it to watch all of those teachers. And then they're going to archive everything. If you can't watch it live, you can watch it later. Everything is going to be through awaketvnetwork.com. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I didn't want to forget about it, because Bree, I forgot. So I forget when they're opening up subscriptions. I don't know if it's going to be waiting until right before the launch.
11/10.
11, like an 11/10.
I think it's
So they're going to
11/10.
start broadcasting live on 11/10/2019, because in Australia it will already be 11/11, the date. So they're going to make sure that starting the launch is going to be on 11/11 starting in Australia. And so the subscription, I have a discount code that I can give all of you, and I think it's the first 25, it might be the first 25 subscribers for each teacher, I think. And we have our own code. Each of us gets our own discount code, which I can give to all of you, and get 50% off of, I think, the first month or something. You can try it out. So
Right.
if you're
So,
interested, let me know. We'll make sure that we get that link to you guys in case you guys want it for subscription time, because each link is unique to each teacher. So they'll know you came from me.
Right. We'll be putting information on Wendy's website. So
Right.
follow her blog, and you can find all the information on there when all that
But
stuff
anyway,
rolls out. It's going to be very
rolling
exciting.
in my head. So I
Yeah.
didn't want to forget about that. So yeah, but anyway, yes. Go back to light languages. If anybody else, would like to share some light languages or comments about anything that we've discussed today, please do.
Yep. So Dolores, I think, was going to share something. Go for it.
Yes, I very much want. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Viv. Thank you, all of you. Yesterday morning, something woke me up very early, little bit late after 3 a.m. And late in the day, I know why, because that was what went through me. I already sent to Wendy, and I asked if is this possible for me to share it here. What do you think?
If you wouldn't mind, maybe just put the link. Isn't it about? It's because it's about 5 minutes long, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. If you don't mind, Dolores, if you wouldn't mind just putting the link in there, and then everybody can watch it at their leisure. It's very powerful, very strong.
There is no link. There are no nowhere in public. Yes.
I forgot you didn't put it out to public yet. Well, if you want, go ahead and play it.
But if it's too long, okay, I don't need it.
Bree? Is that too long? It's about 5 minutes. What do you guys think? Do you guys want to hear it?
I would love to hear it.
Okay, let's do it. I'm going to turn off my camera and I'm just going to listen. Let everybody just sit back and relax and listen. And whatever we need to do to get the sound through properly, we'll go ahead and do that. So yeah, please, everyone sit and relax. It's very powerful.
Yeah, Dolores, can you start before? Can you like play a little bit before it goes into the full thing so we can preview the audio? Make sure it sounds okay.
Okay, I will mute my microphone and we'll put this MP3 file to share. Okay.
Okay, I'm not sure if it will. I think you maybe have to keep your microphone on.
Yeah, you might have to keep it on and play it for us to hear it.
Catch the.
Okay.
But I just mean like play a little bit and then pause it so we can tell you how we hear it.
Okay.
Then she can test the sound. Oh, cool. I like the visual.
That is Windows Media Player. That's standard.
I don't hear anything.
So Dolores, we don't hear anything. So you're gonna have to actually unplug your headphones because if the sound is coming through your headphones, we need it to be. Yeah. There we go. Good. Thank you.
Wow, Dolores, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe you can maybe just give us a word, Dolores. Do you see, or maybe what do you see, or what do you experience, or visualize? Maybe, I guess, is what I'm looking for, if anything, when you're speaking this and doing these tones. And can you maybe tell us just really briefly what you might be experiencing when you're doing that? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot. You don't have to. I'm just curious.
Yes. Okay. I will tell you what I can tell you, what I am aware of, what I'm not, I cannot tell you. Okay. First, there is completely me in that, but not me, Dolores. Dolores is only a channel, fully open for what wants to be expressed. Dolores is in that moments or that minutes in so full of bliss and joy and ananda, and she expressed that she's communicate with Sfera's music, with I don't know, because my English is not enough to explain it, but you were speaking about authenticity. That moments when Dolores is open to express what I want to express is her authenticity. And I, as Dolores, I couldn't imagine that something like this will someday be possible for experience. And the completely openness of existence is in that moments here and now, and Dolores is really only the channel, because that music isn't I didn't think about it or write the notes or think how it would sound. It just goes. It went through me, and I believe that's wow.
That was it was a beautiful way to express that, though, because that's how I feel, is this, if I'm speaking with everything. It's difficult. It's difficult to just pinpoint, or not difficult. But as you said, it's that idea of everything. And then, as you put it, the speaking to the all, speaking to be the vessel from which this divinity comes through without definition.
Without definition, yes, absolutely. Without definition, there is no definition. There is no way that mind, as I perceive it, that my mind or anyone else's mind can arrange something like that. There are many talented people on this earth who can write very, very beautiful songs. But here isn't about the songs. Here is something else that is present in that sound, which went through me as I experience it.
Can I teleport you some Wednesdays with Wendy ago that we made like a live song on the air, like all of us. I think Dolores was there as well when everyone was singing. Do you remember? This was like...
yes.
I have to admit that I didn't understand you completely.
we had like composing a song all together, all of us, like everyone was singing, and that was something similar to this.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes, of course I remember. Yes.
Maybe it sounds, when someone listens to it on the site after that, it sounds, maybe I didn't listen to it, but when we were composing it, we were out of space, just somewhere else.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes.
Thanks to Wendy. Thanks to
Wendy, of course.
A lot of people, it wasn't just thanks to me. A lot of people commented about that, though, you guys, that they actually wanted me to take to edit the video and take that portion out of the video of the Hangout and just post that so everybody can actually just listen to it and share it. So it's on the list, you guys. It's on the list.
Yeah, I experienced the same thing, Dolores, when it's so freaking magical. It's like we try our best to describe, but for somebody who's never experienced this, I had a hard time understanding what they were talking about when people would say, oh, the music just comes into my mind as I'm playing it, or the words just come into my mind as I'm playing it. Even back when people used to say, oh yeah, I can speak, when I first met Wendy, and I'm thinking, wow, how does she do that? And there must be some magical something. It's, whoa, and I couldn't wrap my mind around like how it literally flows through us if we open that door with our intention and with our connection and with our trust. And so I have the same thing, Dolores. When I channel, when I speak, it's like I don't know what exactly is going to come through. I receive it slightly before, maybe like a millisecond before it comes out, but it's like I'm still allowing it to come out. And that's one thing that I don't think everybody talks about. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about, like they'll say, oh, well, I don't think about it at all, and it's not in my mind. For me, I hear it, even if it's a millisecond before, it's hard to describe. It depends on what I'm doing.
Bree, you're a control freak. it's okay to hear it seconds before that, because
Of course.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not saying that that's a problem. I'm trying to describe my experience of it.
That was a joke. That was a joke. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right.
I want to
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is everybody has their different way of doing it, and I think for some people they hear it right before, and for some people it just comes out. So
yes. I want to say
I kind of hear it a little bit. There is like a delay for me too, Bree, where it's almost like I hear it first and then I speak it. Sort of. It's almost anyway. Yeah. Like I can hear it now in my head, and I'm not even speaking it.
I'm the same like Bree. That's why I get her so good when she says this, because the light languages are not easy to comprehend in order of this, that you don't know exactly what you're saying, because there is no alphabet for it, and there is no written law of a communicational, how you say, verbal.
You know what, you guys? They just said to me.
Intent.
They just said to me, they just said to me, and this goes along with something I said to Bree the other day. They just said to me, you guys, you're writing the book now.
I want to say two things. First, yes, we all participate here, but without Wendy, we couldn't participate here, okay? Wendy is the first, every time the first, who made this platform where all we can participate, when we all in love and support can be here and give us, between us, you know what I say? Yes, support and love. But thanks to Wendy on the first place. This is first I want to say. And second, about channeling, my experience is that in that specific moment when I start to trust and have confidence in what I really am, and when I made decision to open to that what I really am, light language start to flow through me. Trust, confidence in life, in what we really are by my experience the first. Everything else coming every day little bit more, and creating that beautiful songs of our lives and that beautiful creation of what we can create in this world.
Yes.
Thank you, Dolores. That was beautiful. And I want to thank you again for sharing that beautiful sound healing message from all that is and all the layers that you are. It was really a beautiful transmission.
Thank you. That will be not possible if there are not WEdNesDaYs.
I think I need a new title. What do you guys? Okay,
Wendy, hold on. Stop. We already have a new title. We've already implemented the new title. It is called Expressions in Light Languages. Am I wrong? Did we not change the title?
Okay. I know.
Maybe I misunderstood.
Everyone kept tripping. I just kind of put I put Wednesdays with Wendy. I put Wednesdays with Wendy at the end, and I thought, you know what? I'll just call Expressions of Light Languages, whatever I said, because that's just nobody can say it but me.
It's a tongue twister.
Can I include
Jessica? It is.
I want to include Jessica in the conversation, because we were speaking about poetry and rhyming. Jessica, you remember? And children's books and everything that makes children laugh and gives them rhythm in life. And Wednesdays with Wendy is so amazing. And I was like, I have to do breakfast with Bree is also very good.
Breakfast with Bree. Oh my God.
I love
that.
breakfast. So I will always be down for breakfast with
Oh my God.
Bree.
Bree, I saw the whole vision, Bree. You really should cook breakfast while you're doing it.
Oh my
Show
God.
everybody
I don't
how
wanna
you're
cook
cooking your
breakfast.
Oh, absolutely. You cook
Somebody
breakfast,
can cook
or at least
me
eat
breakfast.
it, and
How about
everybody
that?
can go eat the same thing.
I'll eat breakfast. I'll do that. Yeah, somebody can cook it.
Hey,
cook here.
we eat good breakfast, man. I'm telling you what. We have our eggs and avocados, and we have our spinach, and we have our.
Oh,
we're
everybody
eaters,
can
man.
cook. Everybody can cook their own breakfast.
Yeah, everybody cooks their own breakfast
at the
that's
same
even better.
time.
That's
Especially
even
if they
better.
live in a different time zone and it's like
Exactly.
dinner time
You
in
have to cook-
Australia.
You have to cook breakfast no matter what time of day it is.
That will be a lot of food.
Breakfast with Bree has been born.
Oh
Wait,
God.
no. It's breakfast and babbling with Bree.
Oh my God. Will, do you understand? Okay, Will. So
Yes.
Oh, wait.
So,
breakfast in
Bree.
bed.
Bree.
now this is getting off track, guys. So Will, you said babbling. Yesterday, I was just talking to my friend Jacqueline Smith. Wendy introduced me to her, and I do work for her.
Jacqueline, I love you.
Jacqueline, and she's so sweet. And she talked about somebody was talking to her about the Tower of Babel, and I was like, I think I was there. She's like, what? In the middle of a conversation.
Bree,
It's 3:33.
Thing that I did.
Oh,
I have a light language thing in my book that remember it said but it says Tower of Babylon, and
I forgot about that. Yes.
I will have to find it. I will find it and post it for you guys.
The reason why she was sharing about the Tower of Babel is she was listening to somebody. God, I wish I could remember right now who it was she was listening to. It might have been Jonathan Goldman, who I didn't know about. Apparently, he's a really famous sound healer who is like up there with Stephen Halpern in terms of like the frequency healing and stuff he does. Stefan might know about him, because Stefan knows about a lot of these artists and stuff. Let me know if you do.
I will sing you a song.
Number one, almost number one.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, this person who she was listening to said, yeah, he believes that light language was a part of the Tower of Babylon. The Tower of Babel. And I was like, oh my God, I think that's right. And that's already information that I received, and blah, 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 blah. And I got really excited. And now you just said Babel. So thank you. I already said Babel earlier in the webinar. So this is a theme of babbling
funny, you
today.
guys. That is really funny. And the fact that I actually, that's wild.
Let me sing you a song.
Please.
I was born in a system that doesn't give a fuck about you or me. Oh, the life. Don't you deny things I do to survive, because it doesn't leave you any good, you Babylonians. I was born in a system.
Oh, the lies.
Oh, the lies.
Oh, the
Doesn't give
lies.
Oh, the
any
lies.
of you Babylonians. Don't you misdeny the things that I would do to survive.
I love this song. This is awesome.
I will send it. I will send it to you because it's a party song. Yeah, we still go to parties.
Good. Parties are fun.
That was really
Elena, that is my dream, girl. That is one of my dreams. That's one of my dreams. That me and you, we go dancing, woman. Dancing.
Me, you and Will and Breakfast with Bree and everyone else.
I love it.
Jessica,
Breakfast with Bree.
I was going to say to Jessica something, that after all the poetry and all the lyrics and everything, like I was thinking, and then I was like, so I can do yay with L. So my show will be yay with L.
Oh, I like that. Oh, you're clever. You're clever.
I thought you said yell.
Well,
yay with
L. That's what I
Okay.
heard too, though, was yell and yay L. I'm like,
I think the Yael will be joining your yay with L.
We both heard
Yeah.
Yael, Bree. Swear to God, I heard Yael too.
Yes,
I heard
me too.
Yael.
Yael, yes, Yael.
Soria toro hursho.
They're getting ready for us. And we're getting ready for them. Okay, I'll stop.
I think I saw one of their light ships in the sky the other night.
I totally did too, Bree. Swear to God, 2 times, 2 nights. 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just staring at them, and they were like, what are you doing up there?
Hey.
And it looks like a star, but it's very blatantly not a star. It's like changing colors and moving around and getting dim and then bright. And I've been seeing them for years, almost every night. If there's, even when there's clouds in the sky, sometimes I see them. It's like there's no stars, but then there's that one really bright star that's not a star. So I am so sorry. Jess, you had raised your hand a while ago and you wanted to say something amazing, and the conversation has moved forward. So I hope you remember what you were going to say.
Yeah. Oh, I always remember.
Yeah.
I heard Yael too. I love them. Hello. Oh, great. What I wanted to say, I'm actually really excited that we're talking about this, because I was yelling out loud, which you do a lot. No, Dougie. I yell a lot out loud to just whoever's listening. I call them my entourage, or but I the specific word I was yelling out was authenticity, and it's funny because one of my missions, and I get so frustrated, and I'm not patient, but I see so many people sharing the same things over and over again, the quotes by other people and these pictures and all of these inspiring things. Some of them are like, from ages ago. Like, we all know the quotes, and we need new material, guys. We
definitely
need some fresh stuff. And yeah. And one of the things that I've done a couple of times is a quote yourself project, and I just challenge you to just without thinking, quote yourself, because your words are just as important as that, same old meme that gets thrown around in the that famous person. You are the famous person. You are the wise man. You are the scholar. You are the philosopher. And Wendy, don't underestimate the value of having these groups and communities, because people need the confidence and to be comfortable to be able to share their truth and to be able to speak up, because there is such a heavy weight on free will.
Yeah. Free will, because I'm imprisoned.
The freedom we all have to express, Wendy, express yourself, and the value of your authentic expression. And it light language is like your language. And I love how I don't know who said it, but it's indefinable, it's indescribable. You cannot name, or you cannot label, you cannot put a word to that which is unwordable, unnameable.
You cannot,
ineffable.
You cannot judge it. You cannot judge it because you cannot really pinpoint what you want to judge in
right
it.
and the power of your authentic expression, whatever it is, whether it's in a moment you say something, a quote, or your thought on your immediate thought or reaction to someone else, or you share art, or you share whatever your be that expresses yourself in whatever way that is so powerful. And by you doing it, and when I say you, I mean every single you, you share your hue, your very unique one-of-a-kind color, right? And by you doing that, you're showing someone else, whether they know it or not, that they can do that too. And the power of these communities is just, there's no price to put on giving someone the confidence through a community and the comfort. And one of the things that I want us and as a society to teach our kids right off the bat is when a kid says something, that you listen and you acknowledge them, and just to as a child to not be dismissed. That is going to eliminate this doubt and fear and hindrance that we all struggle with to speak our truth. Very important.
And
yes, Jessica,
and
yes.
That's what I've never had a voice as a child, and I never could be my authentic self. So that this is our time for all of us to become that, you know, or to discover what that is. And so thank you, Jessica. I really appreciate you saying that. And that really is my highest joy and excitement, is for everyone to discover that within themselves. That's all my mission, if you want to call it that, has ever been, was I'm helping discover myself, and I want to share my process and how I've been doing that. And if it helps someone else, well, that's the only reason I do it.
Look how many people it's helped. Look at this. Look at what you've done. Look at this expressed and thick.
Guys, cut it out. I'm going to cry. Stop it.
No, cry.
For real, Wendy.
No.
Oh my God.
I'm not
gonna.
All these people
right now.
You know, I'm going to tell you guys something. I was talking to someone the other day about channeling and about me. There's so much stuff that I channel in a day, and morning time is exceptionally open for me as soon as I wake up. And there's so much I don't share with the public, and so many videos that I don't make. And the reason is because of that, because the emotions are so intense that I don't want to be seen on camera that way. And I'm working on that. I am. But to see somebody channeling or going through what I'm going through and being crumpled up in tears and like looking like I'm in agony is not something I really want to share just yet.
No,
it's intense. It's not bad. It's amazing. It's like amazing.
So Wendy,
I know.
Oh wait, hold on. What did you say, Jessica?
What about that person that's crumpled and emotional and crying and going through the very same thing? What about them? They need to see that it's okay. It's not that it's okay. That you can cry. You could be emotional, be vulnerable. But we need that so that one person can see that and do it themselves.
This is a message for everybody. Not just you, Wendy. It's for everybody.
Do you see though how you guys, do you see how all of you, by me doing these hangouts, do you see how all of you are doing it for me though?
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is always an energetic exchange.
Yeah. And I'm very much grateful for that exchange. Very much grateful for that exchange.
Because you guys, just by me saying that out loud, and then you guys saying that back to me, and you saying that, Jessica, and I know what all of you are going to say, you should just do it anyway. But that's why, is because you guys are helping me become my authentic self. So the day will come when I will be able to do that. You guys are helping me with that. See, that's the beauty of this, is I never, ever, and neither should any of you, to be a true teacher, you've always got to remember you're always a student at the same time. Always, no matter what, no matter who you're dealing with, whether you're charging money for what you're doing or not, you're always the student at the same time. Doesn't matter.
Can I say something? Can I say something here?
Of course.
And it's not from me, but I have to share it because no disrespect to everything said. Sometimes everyone that listens, they need their private time to be vulnerable and to cry and to express their emotions. But this is between them and their higher self. No one else needs to be a witness in the three-dimensional world of this. And this is when the biggest growth happen, when the people are vulnerable in front of themselves without anyone else is recognizing this or seeing their vulnerability. these are the moments that we grow the most. And we do not need to share this with the public. We need to share these vulnerabilities with ourselves and to recognize that it's a moment of growth for us, because we are loving ourselves and we're allowing these vulnerabilities to happen in order to grow. And after that, when we do the hangouts and when we express our words, emotions in a very stable way, we still show that we went through these vulnerable moments and we understood them. We had a communication in this moment and process of growth, and we are ready to get to the next step of understanding. But I mean, please do not feel obligated to share your vulnerability with us, because it's a personal thing and it's something that you need in order to grow, to be ready and healthy and strong for hangouts with us.
Very well said. Very well
You
said.
guys, that's a beautiful perspective, and both are correct. This is the beauty of allowing
Well, it's all
you
about
guys.
balance.
Both are
Yeah.
correct. It's about balance.
What's
and
up,
by
Jessica?
Yes, we can. Yeah, go ahead, Jessica.
And no, absolutely. And let me clarify. It's when you get that tug that you want to share that moment, but you have a self-conscious that you don't want to. So
yes.
what I was, and yes, that is so true. I don't think that you should, but if you get a tug or a pull, or there's a little bit of you that wants to, or you feel like you should, but then
I do.
But then you don't share, because that's where
and that's actually what I was kind of expressing, Jessica, was just that there is that pull, there's that talk that says this is an important thing for you to do. So I think what I'm doing is, and through light languages and through talking this out with all of you guys like this in public, in the setting, it helps me move through that and say, okay, if this is something that I'm doing, I'm recognizing I've got the pull and recognizing I've got belief systems that are in the way of being able to do that. So it's perfect. You're right. Both of them are exactly right. And you're right, Elena, there are things I will never share or do in public because they're mine. And they're only for my strength. I mean, my own growth.
Yeah.
So I see both sides of that. I see the honoring of that, and I also see the need to share it when the tug is there, but the belief systems need to be moved through the fears, that inauthentic voice that's talking, the fictional self that's telling you, well, for the reasons you shouldn't do that. And so I think these are excellent points. That's why I think.
I mean, sharing the vulnerability is always good. It's good to share vulnerability, but it's not helping the self to get over it.
If you're not pulled to share, you shouldn't share. Only what pulls your soul is if you're pulled to do something and there's something that's preventing you from doing that, from sharing that authenticity or that gift, or that just, if there's something blocking you from that authenticity, if there's a pull to do so, not if there is, because that would be forcing you. If you were to share everything, or it's only that pull, to honor the pull, right? The pull of your heart, the pull of your soul. What if there's a feeling that crushes yourself, your most pure little child, inner child self. There's a crushing, a soul crushing, just pain when you have a pull to do something that you wish you could. You feel like you have this thing that you could share, but you have this block, this weight, this wall that says you can't, you're not good enough, you shouldn't do it, no one wants to listen. Why should
you? Who would want to see that? Who would want to watch that?
No. I mean, some people are ready, but they didn't find their crowd. They didn't find their pack, their group, their bunch of people that they could be open to with their growth. For these people, what is important is just to be open in front of themselves. And as long as they get through this vulnerability, they realize it, they see it's not something you can die from, but it's something that can help you realize that it will make you stronger and go on and have faith and have patience and be good to yourself and to everyone else. You will come to the point to meet the group, to meet the people, to meet the places you belong to in order to share your experience, your growth, your mentality, when the moment is good enough for you, when the time has come. But
You are
everyone
worthy.
should be
You are-
patient. Yeah.
You are worthy.
But there are some things that are very personal and no one needs to share them with everyone else, no matter how they are likable and people are loving them and they want more from them, like give us more, share more of you. No, keep this to yourself.
Well, I think
personal growths are personal, and this makes you
You guys have both helped me a lot. Both of you really helped me a lot.
There's like a polar, how do I describe, like part of this I think is also stemming from looking at how we used to view celebrities and how the paparazzi and all of that, it's like they had no privacy. Yeah, and it's still a problem. These people who are famous based off of whatever, they're in some famous movie or whatever, they're being photographed in their house. I mean, it's creepy stuff, right? And then on the flip side of that, we have the human collective wounding of suppressing emotions and of being completely inauthentic, fake, hiding who we really are, hiding how we really feel, and then having that constantly being buried down inside of us, manifesting physical illness and beyond, mental illness, all sorts of illness and dis-ease, right? So those people were not sharing anything because they didn't feel safe. So it's like this, we're bridging these different paradigms, we're bridging these ways of being, and we all have a different personality set and way that we function. So this is an incredible conversation because it's so important. One of the bravest things we can do is feel our emotions, like let ourselves feel our emotions unconditionally, despite how uncomfortable they might feel, despite what somebody might have told you, despite some, if you feel that emotion, you're going to be in a bad vibration and then you're going to attract bad vibrational things into your life. What bullshit is that? Okay. This is a part of the problem in a lot of these teachings. We learn these steps of the teachings and it brings us up the ladder, but some of it is not helpful. Like that is bullshit.
Bullshit.
To me, that's bullshit. Now, if it helps somebody in the moment I'm not saying that if you're going to sit in horrible energy and feel horrible and not do anything about it your entire existence, I'm not saying that's going to help. But all I'm saying is we don't need to be listening to these teachings that are making us feel ashamed of existing on planet Earth, being a human being, and living life like we live life. And we're always trying to improve and grow. But there's a lot out there right now where people are getting really confused.
Although experiencing all of those things is the most profound teaching method of finding your voice. So, but it's interesting. The Upanishad, I'm not sure if you're familiar. It's like the ancient Vedic text. One of the most important texts that I found in recent times in my searching is it focused on it. If you're not worshiping thyself, worship nothing else but thyself. To worship anybody, any person, anything other than yourself, then you're missing it. It's you should worship, and just Elena, how you were talking about those moments, those intimate moments of finding self. That is such an honoring of yourself and worshiping self. And just like you said, Beth, like being able to feel those emotions, honoring those. If each person we honor and worship ourselves, then first, that because we each are the famous person. We are the famous person. If we see ourselves as that, and as a society, I mean, the profundity of that is outrageous. It's insane. Yourself is divine. You are it. You are
no
it.
Words, no words can complete what love can defeat. But still, it's to show what life can and will go to a places above and skies in a rough of dimensions that show little of more of the things we deny, but still try to fight against of a will that tries to be free in a place that survives of the way to define us as a humankind. When we break off the bubble and realize what Bree said, celebrities are just slaves put in shelves, and they are so miserable, the poor guys living in some very nice places, but no personal life, not able to interact with normal life forms like us. And still, what are celebrities? They're copycats or something that's copying some kind of lifestyle that has to show people that they have to be consumers. But still, when we realize how important it is to think twice and to be nice to yourself before everything else, we start to grow in a way that we show the community around us a way and a personal example of how being nice, being a nice person, kind to everyone and everything else around you, picking up the garbage, like not polluting in a way of emotional polluting, hating, judging, always like putting, how you say, criticism before love. It's vice versa, like when you turn your thinking around and just stop, and even without meditation, even without like vegetarian diet, and just turning your thinking around a little bit starts a different flow, a different lifespan. And from there, every one of us, every person that's looking for this self-fulfillment gets these personal moments and very like empathic realization that we should be kind to us and to everyone that we meet, not because this will bring us better life in heaven, but because this will bring us a better life on earth. That's it.
Yes, all of us. All of us.
Elena, you should be teaching.
I could have said it in light language, but you would not understand it.
And actually, well, speaking of that, there was a really cool question in the YouTube live chat. I want to read it right away because I know that Wendy's going to have some interesting things to say about this topic, because she's told me all sorts of fascinating multidimensional stories of light language symbol beings she has drawn. And especially I'm thinking right now of the one that it's like a dot in the middle, and then they have all just like one line coming off and a dot at the end and another line coming off and a dot at the end, and they're like woo across the page. And you've told me, Wendy, that they are beings. So I just wanted to read this YouTube live comment who Agis Aggie's Magic said, so my friend is experiencing channeling beings into symbols rather than channeling general information into symbols. Any comments on that?
Of course.
Please comment.
um,
And then for anybody else after Wendy
okay.
talks about it, maybe Dolores or somebody else would have something to say. But yeah, what do you think, Wendy?
Okay, so first, yes, there's so many things that we can go with this, but yes, I've had this experience many times. And it's really interesting that you said it the way you said it, was because a lot of the symbols that come to me, they kind of come to me and they say, we're little beings. Like this symbol, how can I explain this? Sometimes they'll say, I am what would you call a 3D drawing? I am it's almost like I'm a three-dimensional representation of I want to say mathematical equation, but sort of like that, but they mean more like from an energy standpoint. And they're saying to me, this is our way and your way of being able to represent that on a piece of paper. And I've been taught, there's so many layers to this. So I'm trying to keep my thought processes straight here. So, we've been invited to actually see them lift themselves off the page and then interact with them. That's kind of what I want to say and how they want to say it. And so I've actually had where a symbol, I mentioned this before in other Wednesdays and videos and things, but where they've said one symbol could be an entire story of a star system, or it could be one being expressing itself. It could be a collective of beings that also represent themselves as a symbol. It's sometimes difficult to articulate that to people. And even when I'm creating personal symbols and light code arrays, I'm to help people activate and illuminate belief systems, DNA, thought processes, brain synapses, the way your heart works, the way your heart talks to because your heart is the conduit, is the bridge to your higher self. This is why we've always said, even though we didn't understand what we were saying, follow your heart, listen to your heart. We've always said that, but we didn't understand why. Because from a physics and a scientific standpoint, your imagination and following your heart is the direct conduit to the information from your higher self. So there's that information too. And so it's even my higher self talking to me. It's other fractals talking to me. It's part of me talking to me. It could be someone from another star system. And I showed this a couple of weeks ago. Oh, this is a really good one, Bree, too, because this has some of the symbols you were a little bit like you were referring to. Now, you guys, I drew these a long time ago. These were like, I think this was in 2015 or something. So not that long ago, but this one I shared, I think last week, wasn't it, you guys? This symbol came to me first. So this whole page, it was blank except for this little guy. I call him a guy because that's how it felt to me.
Can you hold
so
it
he like comes
closer?
Oh, sure.
Because your video is a little bit.
Okay, I'll sit still.
Even closer. Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, and I'll take a picture of this too and post it if you guys want. I'll have to remember all the things I need to post. So
I got you.
This guy came to me first on the page, and he sort of like jumped onto the page and he was like introducing himself, and he said, "Hi." And I can't explain this, you guys. I got all excited. Like, I was like, "Well, hi, it's nice to meet you." It was like, and I know this sounds nuts, but why do you think I didn't share this crap all these years ago with anybody? So, because they would have like, okay, Looney Tunes. So when it popped on the page and he said, "Hi, my name translated to you, the best that I can translate it to you is I am D. Ani Inda. And I was just like, so. And then he said, I translate to love of life. And he said, and I know this sounds crazy, guys, but he said, the reason that I can hang like I'm here today is because you also are that essence, love of life. And so I know this sounds nuts. So he says, and so then I started getting all these other drawings all the way around it. And then, what else do I got in here? Oh, I don't know. There's all kinds of like symbols and things down here. And each one of these little beings, if you want to call them beings, this is one of the first things I ever drew, actually, ever. So they were talking to me and he said, these are representations of, and this is a representation of you. I've been drawing this a long time. Like one of the first things I ever started drawing was this. And so they said, this is my, he didn't say entourage, but kind of like entourage. This is my team that we travel together. That's what he said. We travel together. And these are representations of different stars, different like realms and beings and information. And so we hang out together and we sort of travel in he says, kind of like the same, like us here, like the same community. And he said, and the reason why I'm able to rendezvous with you is because you have this, you're open to this idea of being and I've always, ever since I saw Bashar the first time, I'm like, I'm a galactic ambassador. Oh, I'm a first contact specialist. Oh, I like meeting people and beings from all over these planets and worlds. And I like bringing everybody together and gathering. Well, so do they. So does he. So he's like, so of course we'd be hanging out together. So again, another experience of how this stuff does that answer your question?
What,
Can I share as well?
what was the person's name that asked the question?
It was Agus Magic in the YouTube live chat. And so, yeah, after you, Jessica, go for it, Sarah. So what's up, Jessica?
I want to bounce the question back to beautiful Agus Magic. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But what do you think? What do you feel if you if you are asking the question, then that's a yes. If you are, there's no right or wrong way to draw or express a being or an experience. We're asking so many questions, and really, I want to bounce it. Well, what do you think? How do you feel when I saw that drawing, Wendy, of the woo jumping off the page? How does that make you feel? It makes me feel like woo. How it's a feeling expressed. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So of course you're drawing these beings of light, beautiful Agus Magic. Keep doing it. Express that. Share that. Don't doubt yourself. If you think it, if you think you're getting a message from an animal or a fairy, or you probably are. Write it down. Trust that.
Yes, you probably are, because you guys have to remember something. Even Bashar said you can't imagine anything until you're the vibration of it. Doesn't work the other way. You've got to be the vibration first, or you cannot experience it. So that's exactly right, Jess. If you're getting the question, am I this, is this, the answer is probably always going to be yes, or it's supposed to take you to the answer. One or the other.
Imagination, that's all you need. Your imagination.
We are magicians. Imagination. Your imagination. Yeah. Imagination. Just like that's all Bashar, stealing it from Bashar. We're magic.
The answer is in the excitement. If you're excited about it, if you feel excitement, if you feel like wondering, a question, to know more about something, that's the answer. If you're excited, go.
If you're excited about it,
that's the
it's
answer.
who you are.
It's the way you
follow
have to
it.
Go. Yeah,
just follow it.
Excitement,
don't expect it to take.
Question, go for
it. We're so stuck on why and where is this going to take me? It's about getting there, go do it, and you're going to find the answer. And it's got nothing to do with what you thought was at the end.
But dear
Nothing.
motivators and motivational speakers, I should say that a lot of people, as well as we, are brainwashed from all the systems that try to make us consumers. So it's very, how you say, logical for people to have logical questions in order to realize that there is not need for them to be part of a system that's not working anymore. But still, because of the whole, how you say, polarization of how the system makes us think and find logic in everything, it's okay for people that don't understand it to ask questions, but as long as they're excited from it, go for it. Don't as long as you don't have an answer to your question, doesn't mean that you have to stop. If you're excited for it, go for it, explore it. When someone cannot answer your question, it doesn't mean it's not the right question. It means it's not the right, how you say, no, it's not even, this is not right that I wanted to say it's not the right person to ask, but it means that follow your excitement. If you have a question, the answer is in the question, but still don't be put down from if someone cannot answer what you expected to hear, because we have expectations, we look for logic, and sometimes we are not satisfied from the answers.
But and sometimes there are no answers. That's what I'm finding.
If you have the excitement to go and to ask for the question, the mere fact that you ask the question about this thing means that you're excited about it. So go further, dig deeper, fly higher. That's it.
I love that, Ellen. Thank you.
Girl.
Guys,
Right on,
I want to share that.
Liliana, hi.
Hey, finally I got to talk, right?
Jump in, girl, jump in, hurry up.
No, anyway, no, my microphone was off and you guys couldn't hear me. Anyway, but this is the thing. What I have thinking is like our science and our entire physical reality is so limited by the limitations of our physical being, and everything that we do and everything that we believe is just within the limitations of our physical world. Like our eyes can only see only like 1% of what it really exists, and our ears only can hear like maybe like 1% of what really exists. So on our entire world is based on that 1% of what it really exists, because we cannot see it or hear it or touch. But the fact that we cannot hear, see it or touch doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. You know, like so many times I ask like people who is in the science field, you're like, what about if a hawk could see under a microscope? Or what about if we could have the earrings or the hair of a horse? Or what about if we could smell as well as a dog? Our entire science field will be completely different. So that is one thing that I am like, you know what? Science needs to wake up. That's it.
On the top of this limitation, they try to program us and to make us think in a specific way, because they use this small percentage of our senses to make us go in a certain direction. And we know this, everyone already realized it. Some people are comfortable in it. Some people already see that it's not going to last for long. But excitement, this is the main point. if you have a question, if you're impatient, if you want to know more about something and you don't, and then you're not satisfied from an answer from somewhere that you go and ask, just don't stop, continue, dig deeper.
Yeah, and sometimes
that's it.
digging is kind of like what you were saying, the way that it's like we've set ourselves up to feel like we need to do the deep digging because there are things that we're supposed to experience along the way and learn along the way, and people we're supposed to meet along the way in our digging and searching. And I cannot possibly say how important this is. So I'm really glad you explained that way, Elle, and I fully agree. And you know, there's a lot going on here. So follow, if you're feeling pulled towards something, follow it. And I also
like a true control freak.
There we go.
And there's
so
there's so many layers.
Yeah,
there's so many layers to things. It's like peeling an onion. You know, there's our 3D layer and then there's the next under, and you can go deeper than that. And if you can see all of them at the same time, you can get overwhelmed and just want to go hide. No, but seeing all of those layers is more like what reality really is. You know,
oh my gosh,
all the nonverbal communication.
Can I say something?
Yeah, the vibrations in the room.
It just came to me. There are no layers at all.
Well,
there are not
there's
layers
that.
at all.
Boom.
Well, there's that.
Boom.
Good. That was really
Straight to the
good.
center.
That was good, Dolores. Dude, thumbs up. Mic
I
drop.
can hear something from
that was good. You know,
Yeah.
I wanted to elaborate just for a second on Aga's question.
Yeah.
Magic. Friend's name is Victoria. She has also been told that drawing symbols wouldn't be enough to channel these beings. So I'm thinking if she is guided to learn other light language expressions. No.
Don't box yourself in.
No. If even see, this is where we got to stop doing this to ourselves. So you all think if you only draw symbols, you're not channeling and you're not doing light languages? No. You don't need to. Nobody says you have to be speaking it or channeling or singing or toning or hand signing. Nobody says we have to do any of those things. It's about what you're getting and your passion, and to use what you've already got in order to, if you want to do other things, that's great. Start with what you've already got and use what you already have and trust it. And that's not true. You already are channeling beings. Those are information talking to you. Those are beings talking to you. Doesn't matter where you live. Doesn't matter. That's where they're. So we need to look, all of us out there, including me, when I very first started this, I wasn't hand signing yet. I wasn't making symbols. Well, I forget which happened first, but I wasn't doing all of these things. I didn't even own an Oracle deck. None. Not one. Well, except for one, but I never used it. It was a gift from 20 years ago, and I just took it out in public the other day for Halloween to wear with my costume. But that's exactly what this is all about. Everything we've been talking about today is about authenticity, and this is just a whole another layer of that. And what you just said, Dolores, is exactly right. Layers are only in our perception. We think of densities and dimensions as finite, which they're a frequency, but to move through them, exactly, there are none. This is what we need to see. This is the next level of the master class. See, each one of you are teachers of teachers, whether you think it, see it, believe it or not. That's why we're together. And I will tell every person who's in a session with me the same exact thing, because it's true. So that's the way it is. And wow, this is, God, geez, you guys.
I know.
Thanks for all the questions out there. This is like
every
one of everything that we've talked about today has blown me away as far as the extent to which the theme about becoming authentic, and you guys, of course, this is a subject we could talk about every week, because every week we're becoming more authentic.
True that.
And the answer is, and the part of what this is all about, of course, is how do light languages help us become more authentic? Well, I think all of you who are out there, if you're watching this today, any of our Wednesdays, since we started back in June 5th, all of the videos, everything that we've been doing, all these gatherings, everything that I've been doing has been about becoming more authentic, and for each of us to be able to do that in a more full way, to really live the abundant, when I say, and we even use that word so frivolously now, abundance. We're not really understanding what that means. It's meaning loving what you do and being able to prove to yourself that you can live your life the way you want to live, doing the exact thing that you love. That's abundance. It doesn't mean money. It doesn't mean, for some people, a castle is the last thing that they would ever want. And for some people, it's a little tiny house. Some people, it's something they want to live under the stars. And for some people, it's completely different. So your abundance and my abundance ideas are very, very different. But that doesn't mean you're wrong. It's yours. So there you go.
Confidence manifests
abundance.
Da, da,
So
da.
coming full circle again, I wanted to say,
yes, Dolores.
oh yeah, go ahead. And I also wanted to say hi to Ivan. I want to make sure he gets a chance to say hi.
Okay, hold on.
We go off air.
Okay, hold on. Let's do Dolores first. We have some things to do.
Two things. First, I am abundance. Try to feel and hear that sentence. And second, there is only one, but that one who is only one said one day, I divided myself in many so I could love myself.
That's deep, Dolores.
Gratitude, Dolores.
I know, boy, you're just hitting them out of the park today, baby. I'm sure you know what that means. Baseball, hitting them out of the park. I forget she's not in America, so it's like, well, sometimes I think everybody understands these quips and things, and it's like some people are like, wait, what?
That is not from Croatia.
Thank you for the explanation.
See, I told you. So yes, when we're
so thank you for that. So so hold on, a few things here. So going back to the conversation about drawing light language symbols and them, they are beings. So you're drawing a being. Well, what do you think cartoons are? You know, guys, I mean, light language is energetic.
Jessica's like, duh. Do you guys think Star Wars was all channeled? Hate to tell you this, guy, Star Wars was all channeled.
And Lord of the Rings, so
Lord of the Rings, and
you know,
other.
We
these
all are
cartoons,
channels
I love
of
that.
ourselves.
Yeah,
good one, Bree. Cartoons, man.
Whoa.
How many of us have as kids? And Jessica, I'm sure, can relate to this. I, as a child, I could relate to cartoons in a way I couldn't relate to anything else. And so, and we could go on and on about that too, because otherwise we'll on the air all day. But good.
Right.
Good
So I'm sorry. I'm trying to how do I conceptualize?
You're fine.
Drawing light language,
as long as everybody's fine.
Drawing light language symbols is an energetic representation written out. Okay, so you're representing and this is my understanding currently, but you're manifesting this non-physical energy of, let's say, higher dimensional beings or useful information or symbolism that pertains to a specific civilization or a story of the civilization. There's so many, it's like infinite things. So it's kind of hard to, you can't list them all off, but you draw this and let's say I'm going to channel a light language symbol that represents happiness. And then you draw something, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so happy looking at this. So isn't this, look at our emojis that we use incessantly in everyday life, or look at, you know, sending people, it's like what we're doing is we're transferring energy. And I think it can be both, personally. I think that there can be a being that is channeled and drawn light language in a light language form, looking form on a piece of paper. And I think that that being could also be conveying information energetically, being a multidimensional drawing that we think is on a flat piece of paper. Am I making any sense? Because I'm
it's very personal.
Absolutely.
If there's no, what looks like a happy little light being in a stick figure to you might not be my,
right.
We're looking for, is this the right way? Is this how light language? But light language, there's no box. There's no, it's literally your interpretation. It's of the vibration, of the feeling. I love what Lillian, you were talking earlier about seeing and hearing. There's only so far that we can go with our 5 senses in the physical dimension, but we can feel. And if you feel and embrace your imagination, your creativity, and just your feeling and tap into that, then you literally are tapping into every layer, the non-existing layer, that we feel like it's a feeling, it's indescribable, and then we just express it in linear ways, however that may be. Art, stick figures, clouds. I want to start a whole cloud medicine program. If you look at the clouds, what is the cloud saying to you? You might see a being. It appears in your mind, and that's your personal interpretation, your communication with whatever that is. Do you feel like it's a being? You see faces and everything, hello, hi, and talk back to it.
It's consciousness.
Personal.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Hey, Bree, can I tell you something? Since you're a cat lover.
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered why the animation Hello Kitty is so popular? Just think about that.
Because cats.
Aside from that, but if you're talking about expressing an animation that makes you happy, the way that's animated, even if you're not a cat lover, it actually incites happiness. Oh, look at that.
Oh, hello, kitty. Hello.
I bought this in Japan, of course. So I agree with you. And I think what we're doing is we're expanding our awareness and our abilities and our boxes and limitations that we've been told by society is right and correct. And then we have a lot of questions about how we're expanding it. Like, wait a minute, I just drew this thing, and when I look at it, it makes me really happy. What does this mean? So it's so cool that we can all come together and talk about it. And yes, Sarah, what were you going to say about all of this? Because you had typed something in the chat, but go for it.
Yes, I'd like to share an experience that I had in a dream. And in this dream, there was the two-dimensional reality. They were kind of like cartoon form, stick figures and whatnot, but they were actual beings who are alive and can live in this second dimensional world, okay? Not only that, in this dream, I also saw third dimensional human beings interacting along with the two-dimensional beings together. This is beyond the concept of what we have as humans understood about our reality. We perceive our reality as first dimensional, second dimensional, third dimensional, fourth dimensional. We perceive them as all being separate. Now, when you become those dimensional scopes or ideas become very blurred in lines. And so you can begin to perceive these, what we call stick figures, what we call cartoons, what we call lines on a sheet of paper, to be a reality unto itself in the second dimensional realm. So I don't know if anyone ever seen this movie called Cool World, where they actually portrayed a reality of the cartoon world and the human world being combined. So someone actually was able to see into that dimensional scope of awareness and portray it for humanity to see, to understand that this is the reality that actually exists. I just wanted to share that experience that I had.
Yeah, thank you. I think
this matter.
What I think is so interesting about what you said, Sarah, is it's reminding me of years ago back in Human Colony, in Hucolo Hangouts online, there was somebody, I cannot remember who it was, and he was sharing a very similar experience about, I don't know if it was in his meditation or in a dream, and he was in a 2D sort of, you know, so like like they were flat, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Walking around like this. And I don't know if it was Mickey Mouse but what he was realizing was it was just one realm or one dimension or one area where that's how existence was, wherever he was. And
exactly.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about channeling this being that he met. And it's so interesting because just like what Wendy had said about, you know, like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and stuff, I think that we are connecting to different aspects of existence, different perspectives of existence, and we're channeling them. And they do have very different views because some of them are in very different sorts of realms and realities and dimensions. And Wendy, wasn't Bashar sharing one time about, and please, I hope you're going to know.
I just knew you were going to say this, and I think I know what you're going to ask. Are you
with the
talking about
spheres?
Are you talking about other beings, or are you talking about their Oversoul Collective?
No, it was, I wish I could even remember all the details. So what I remember him saying was that it was a different form of a universe where these beings, everything. Yeah. What do you remember about that?
Okay. So there's, and I understand what you're saying. There are, everything we picture, let's talk about cartoons and being flat. Okay, there are dimensions in which that's what they look like. That is how they have chosen to express themselves in that vibrational, that dimension. So what you said about cartoons, what we were talking about things being flat on a piece of paper, this entity that came to me, all of this stuff is all related because you're right, Bree. It's all about what perspective the dimension you're in. Now, Bashar also said there, and which I already, this is really weird, you guys, because I've seen this in my own visions. And then I watched in a Bashar event not too long ago, you know, one that I just bought randomly. And he was talking about beings in other realms and how some of them, okay, and I like this one because I really like this one because it's music related. He said the beings themselves are like sound, like musical sounds, and so they have to talk to them in their language, if you will, but he said it took them a long time, not a long time, but it took them a while to be able to imagine all of us as first contact specialists, and we land on in a dimension where everything is different. And let's talk about how we have understood that certain things like, you know, psychoactive medicines and things can change reality, and things can move and morph in that. And we understand that that's what the reality really looks like. And so it's kind of like that. So they learn to go and interact with these beings in their dimension and speak to them in their dimension. And so they learn to speak to them like they only speak in music. That's all they are, is like musical. Like, are they physical? Well, sort of, but not really. depends on who they're expressing themselves how, and so there's lots of layers to this. Sorry, you guys, my electricity, we're having storms. My electricity keeps going on and off. And so it's like, I don't know, the lights are going on and off. So if you're seeing weird things going on, you guys, that's what's happening. My power keeps going on and off.
Your video has been going on and off the whole time, so it's been weird this whole webinar. But we can hear you, and that's what I really, really care about here.
That's the most important thing. But yeah, so
this is just, it's so expansive and interesting and everything. And Stefan just mentioned Looney Tune or Space Jam.
Ivan, did you see my pillow?
Yes. Can I show this real quick? Or
just had to make sure you saw that because I thought of you.
Well, I was sharing with one of my friends how a lot of things have been happening with me. I've been lighting up a lot. So I felt that I needed to introduce myself to his family. But one of my other coworkers lives a couple houses away from him. And I was just thinking, okay, well, if I'm going to introduce myself, I can only imagine that while I'm at this buddy's house, my other buddy lives over here. And as soon as I visualized that, like seeing my buddy with his two sons, what I saw was Papa Wolf and two little pup wolves. Now, what I had, so I was like, okay, so I know my wolf connection. And I was like, I wonder. So I decided to go over there and talk to him. And I was like, hey, what do you think about wolves? I just asked the question, what do you think about wolves? And Adam responded, oh, they're awesome. I'm like, okay, why do you say that? It's like, well, as a matter of fact, my aunt used to raise wolves. And I used to, as a little kid, I used to go and feed them. And what's funny, what he said is there was alpha male and alpha female, these very strong personalities. And he said every single time the female had pups, he was the only one that could get close to her to feed her and feed the puppies. And I was like, well, shit, that's because you are part of her wolf pack. She was like, yeah. And I always thought it was kind of weird that I was the only one that could actually get close to her and whatever. So that validated what I got just of thinking, okay, I'm visiting another friend. And all of a sudden I think about this other friend and I see wolf, like a strong wolf connection vibe. And I just can't help it. I just had to go and ask. I'm like, so what's going on with this wolf? And anyways, I'll just stop right there. I just wanted to share that happened today, which I thought was pretty freaking epic. And
see, and I told, it was weird because I kept hearing in my head, make sure Ivan sees you got that wolf pillow, make sure he sees. And the funny thing is you guys, I wasn't playing, and I was, of course, here I was in the dollar store looking for something completely benign, like hand lotion. And I kid you not, Ivan, I swear to freaking God, I didn't even go the direction of the lotion. I went down a different aisle, which, I was nothing in there that I was intending to look at, but it was like a draw. As soon as I walked in, they're like, yeah, just don't deviate. Do not go to the lotions. Keep walking. I swear to God, the very first thing I laid my eyes on was that dang pillow. And I'm like, bam. I'm like, okay, wolf pack in the basket. And I thought of you immediately. It was so weird.
Follow the pull.
That's fun.
Follow the pull. You know what I think is really, really cool? Ivan, you had a thought. You had an intuitive thought. And instead of questioning yourself, you went and you asked. And there was a connection. You had a pull to go down an aisle. And without questioning it, you just went and you found it's. You communicate so clearly if you just follow the pull. And real quick, you were talking about like the different dimensions. My biological dad was a paranoid schizophrenic, and I've always been fascinated with the schizophrenia and how it's more of a way to connect with the other side, and we just have we're getting there. But he wrote a book. And he's since passed away, but I'm going to publish the book. And the book is about traveling through all of these different dimensions. And he described these little spherical plum beings. And well, there's different beings in all of these different realms and realities. And it's mind blowing the the different names of the constellations and the descriptions of the universe. And it's schizophrenia, it's an excessive amount of dopamine. And so being able to connect with your imagination, your creativity, that pull, and if you just explore that, if you can imagine it, it is so. That exists. If you're thinking of it, I think Dolores, you were talking about if it excites you, explore it. Ask that question. If you meet someone and you get this strange thought, oh, wolf, cat, tree. It's your imagination talks to you. It plays with you. The universe plays with you. It's like a cat toy. They're saying, hello, do you see me? Hello, hello, hi, hello. I had a mark on my shoulder yesterday when I came in. I looked down, there's a mark on my shoulder. Hello, Ma. Hello, Ma. Like, you talk back. When you get a thought or an idea, play with it. Take a moment and then realize that you're playing with yourself. You're toying with yourself. You're joking with yourself. Say hello back. Hello, hi.
Oh my gosh, Jessica, you are lovely.
You're lovely.
She's so funny. The light language is such a good way to integrate the different realms of the one. And a couple of weeks ago, I was here and Sarah was here, and Sarah, it was like after the after thing, Sarah and Sparky started R2D2 back and forth at each other. And I felt this stuff. When he spoke, I felt it in my heart chakra. When she spoke, it was in my throat chakra, and it was like cycling up and down. And I said something. It's been pretty much front burner ever since. And that was like, 2 weeks ago now. So somehow that integrated something, still trying to unpack all of what it was, but it definitely pulled some things into alignment. And the light language was such a good bridge for that. And yeah, whatever Sarah said was, yeah, it was pretty intense. And there's Cosmo.
Wow.
Look at him. He's getting so big.
Oh
I had to show you he is getting big, Ivy. Okay.
He is.
Goodbye. Sorry, he left as quick as he came. He's just sitting right here, but he's like, no, I don't want to hold
you.
He is. He's
Yeah.
perfect. He was almost 5 pounds already.
Yeah, he was totally yours.
So,
wow.
Thank you, Ivy, for sharing that.
Thank you, Ivy. I'm happy.
Yeah, that was the first time I experienced like a light language. What do you call that? An activation or something like that? I don't know.
What do you call it?
That was, one of the first times.
As soon as you hear it works.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, sorry, Sarah, your audio is a little bit really choppy, cool, and then her audio is slow, so it makes it difficult. But
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so that was an activation. The thing is, usually when you already have a language within your DNA, as soon as you hear one speak that language comes available for your physical body because it's already there. And so that's just like, when you take jumper cables to a car to activate the motor or activate the battery that's already there that has energy. So basically when you hear a specific light language that's already in your DNA, it will literally jumpstart that energy or that vibration within you to begin to communicate right away. So that's what you were feeling, that jumpstart of that engine beginning to flow. So the information will flow in your head, and it will also flow in your throat chakra, because your throat chakra is how you communicate with the multidimensional realms, and you're able to communicate with the humans here on Earth through your voice. So it gives activate. It's not just a download or upload, it's an activation that's already prepared for you. It's just one needs to motivate it.
You already knew
You're
that.
all that.
You knew that already. You already knew that. You said it yourself. It felt like an activation, and you already knew that because it just like she was just saying it. You already knew that. It was already there. You smart.
Well, I knew that since it happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hadn't experienced something like that before, because light language is a different experience for me than for a lot of you guys, because I'm like the recipient of it, and I don't really, repeat it yet. It must be hell if anybody was sleeping in the same house with me, because I just talk it all night long. When I wake up, I'm and as I fall asleep, as soon as I'm not conscious, I can hear myself start. So
wow, really?
That's how
I like hearing.
Are you
hearing that? I keep forgetting this delay.
Ivy, is it affecting your sleep, or you're just hearing it when you're coming to?
No, I don't sleep well, but no, I just hear it when I'm in that space between sleep and consciousness. Before I'm all the way conscious, it's still going on, and I just hear, I guess, the tail end of the conversation.
Wow.
That's my highest meditation time, is right as soon as I wake up.
Well, that's before I wake up. Once I'm awake, it's done. It's stopped. Once I'm conscious and awake.
Oh, but so it's before you even wake up. Okay. Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just wake up hearing it, and I wake up, to the tone of it, and then once I'm awake, I'm like, oh. And I didn't know what it was until I got led from information outlet. They're my guides, nudging me and telling me and taking me to school every night is the closest I can figure. And they nudged me until, my path left you. And
that's true.
Wherever everything is leading here.
I wake up a lot.
2 weeks ago, which was pretty tricky.
Oops.
But yeah, so
I wake up a lot speaking light language.
Yeah, it does,
a lot.
And the only other time that it bubbles up is like sometimes driving. I have to drive a lot because of where I live, so I get in a pretty, hypnotized state as I'm cruising down the country roads, and sometimes if I'm going around a corner, it'll just kind of bubble up, and I'm like, hell, I guess they're telling me, wow, that was kind of neat, we liked it. I call them my bubbas with me everywhere.
What do you call them?
So yeah, that's my bubbas.
Your bubbas.
Bubba. In the South, everybody's bubba. My bubbas. And yeah, so that's how it happens for me. It's a little different than you guys. I would feel really awkward trying to join in a conversation. It just is something that comes up involuntarily. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, this is why we have these gatherings, is because everyone's experiences are so different and so unique, because we're all unique. We all think we need to be the same as each other, but we forget we're all unique, just like everything else in creation. Every single thing is unique. Everything. So, we forget about that. We all think we have to have the same experience, or receive light language the same way, or speak it, or sign it, and I have a problem with people saying, I'm only speaking it, or I'm only signing it, or I'm only writing it. That means I'm not doing it.
You're all saying light language without you even knowing, in your own interdimensional way. No concept.
We're all speaking light language,
So yeah,
everything we're speaking is light language. Right now, we're just translating it into English. That's it. We're just translating our own light language into English right now. That's it.
Conveying energy.
languages.
Conveying energy. And
Yes.
on that note, I'll use the example I really like to use when people ask, what does it mean to feel energy? What is energy, right? So very easy in a sentence of saying, for instance, okay, I can say a sentence two ways. I can say, you are so talented, or you are so talented.
Oh.
Very different, exact same sentence, but very different energy, different meaning that I was giving to the sentence. And that's light language. We're conveying energy, we're conveying meaning. And yeah, this is all, everything, everything is light language, but it's fun. It's fun and it's healing and it's helpful and it's expansive beyond our comprehension. And I also wanted to thank, yeah. I wanted to quickly thank you, Jessica, for what you said too about your father. I think that's amazing. And the fact that you want to publish that book that he wrote, that's incredible.
I started on my page, Wise Words from a Madman. He left me all sorts of writings. Yes, he did.
So he was channeling a lot, you think?
Yeah, I have a better relationship with him on the other side. He actually ended up going, he went to a mental institution when I was young because he tried to harm us. But he ended up going missing about 8 years ago, and his remains were just found a couple years ago. And he left all sorts of writings, and that helped. But it's just it's just an example of just that teetering line, sanity, insanity. The psychic, someone brought, Wendy, I think you brought up like hallucinogenics. And when you bend your mind, in whether it's trauma can bend your mind, it can massive catastrophes. All of a sudden, that square, that wall that you're in, it's all of a sudden it's open because you're shattered into a new reality. And mental illness, schizophrenia, like I said, I'm fascinated by it because there's just a teetering line, and you can jump into it, you can go completely mad, but it's I think the key is it really is just your imagination, and sometimes we don't understand how bendy our minds are, and you can bend it. Tear down the wall, as Pink Floyd says, one of my favorite things, but tear it down and like who was just talking about the how she received the light language in a different way than
Ivy.
Mm-hmm. Ivy. Oh, I love your name, Ivy. If I have a little boy, his name's gonna be Emerald Ivy. I love it. But I get messages the same way. I don't speak light language, but I get messages, and but if you acknowledge it, for anyone else that might experience, acknowledge it. Say hello. If you get an ear beam or a thought, and maybe you don't understand what I accept. I don't know what it is, but I accept. You're actively engaging with that. I accept whatever information is coming in, whatever dream that was.
I know what they're doing. But, when you were talking about sanity, insanity, schizophrenia, and things like that, consciousness, one of the good analogies that I've heard for that is in the Castaneda series, where Don Juan talks about your assemblage point. You're in your luminous egg, your aura field, and your assemblage point is somewhere in particular. And that controls how you perceive, how you interact with the world. And one of the things that Don Juan would do to Carlos would hit him on a shoulder in a particular place, and it would shift his assemblage point to somewhere else inside his aura, inside his luminous egg. And all of a sudden, the world was different. He was in a different place. So when someone has an episode of whatever kind of illness they're labeled and diagnosed with, because there's so many different manifestations of where the mind can go, it's like their assemblage point has been shifted to maybe out here, not so close to their body, and this is where they're dealing with the world from. And to get them back grounded, whatever techniques is used, medication in Western society, shaman stuff in tribal societies. It brings their assemblage point back into a realm where consensus reality and everybody else is, so they can at least relate. Does that make sense for an analogy, kind of?
Apps, no, that's so perfect. And the funny thing is, instead of, this is what made me actually want to leave school for social work, is I started reading one of the policy books about mental health and mental illness. And I had a lot of experience with my own, and obviously with my dad and everything. And after a while, I said, who says and why are we listening? These are all made up. How can I lock someone up for being insane? Except if they're really going to hurt themselves. But other than that, there's no definition. And what we should be doing is asking them, learning from these people that are jumping out of the ledge. These fearless souls who are choosing the life paths to be able to just to dive into these dimensions that we're too scared of because it's out of the box. To playing with death and dimensions.
And some of the weird. Some of the weird thing is when I've been around schizophrenics that were kind of in their out there zone time, they seem to be talking the truth. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. They're so awakened.
Synchronicity.
Yeah, and it's like their filters have taken off.
Synchronicity on, imagine synchronicities, right? When you get that synchronistic, imagine that on super, epic overdrive. Every little thing is communicating with you. And in America, a lot of it is really, really negative. But there are other countries, I've read studies while I was working with these folks. In other countries, schizophrenia is not these negative, awful voices that are
really
cultural. Yep.
Really?
I had this one client, and she was so paranoid, and I was trying to find another way to help her, and I was doing some research, and it's very cultural. Where those voices are coming from, where they're connecting to, is like this inner. It's like all those fractured pieces. Someone was talking about all these fractured selves. Those are all those fractured selves, and if you're born into a culture where there's a lot of negativity and putting self down, and that's kind of the cultural norm, then that's why
the program.
Right, exactly.
The program's running.
Exactly, but there are other countries where they're positive. They're they're friendly and chit chat with you, just like I chit chat with
culture is so confining.
Which cultures in particular did you see that with the view of
even our own indigenous cultures? They call those people shamans.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
Those who are able to connect multidimensionally were called shamans.
Yeah,
that's very, very
yet
interesting.
In our society, they call them schizophrenic, crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
because our society is about taking away power.
Exactly.
Sorry, and that is the reason I was saying just before the same thing. Whatever we can't see with our eyes, it shouldn't exist. Or we can't hear. I mean, they can't hear because they have the capacity of doing it, but some of the people doesn't have that capacity, and that shouldn't exist. But it is there because because we can't see or hear it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It's there.
Look at Wi-Fi signals and radio signals.
Exactly. Yeah.
We know they exist.
Those are just frequencies, aren't they?
Yeah.
So reality, you have all these beings doing one thing, playing music, speaking on one frequency, and then you have another group of beings doing that on another frequency, and then the next and the next. So that's just like what the truth of our reality is that there are so many frequencies vibrating and having their own realities at the same time. Now, what you call schizophrenic people or shamans, they're able to see all of that as their linear scope of understanding. The problem is we try to take those thoughts and ideas and make them all into one focus, but they're seeing multiple focuses all at the same time.
Well, then I would also add in that there's also the really like people who are receiving, let's say, very negative information, voices saying very negative things.
Yeah.
Then this gets into a whole nother
because
aspect.
This is a polarity reality.
Yeah.
So you have those who are able to see positive and have those who are able to see negative. It's just where they're focusing on. And then you have those who are right in the middle who are able to perceive both sides and stay neutral. Guess who that is? People like us.
Hopefully.
You need to see dark to see light. You need to know light to know dark. You need to have both of them. And what learning experiences we can have from all of these people.
We're learning to see into the multidimensional realms of reality from a perspective of people who have seen only one focus of reality, which was our everyday understanding until we got into, you know, these awakening moments like we have so far, right? And so we're able to perceive both ideas.
Yeah, I mean, like Jody had put in the chat just now, I have a necklace that says, I am not crazy. My reality is just different than yours. So I think that's fitting.
Well, that's
everything
perfect.
we're
And
talking about.
I'm listening to everybody and
Oh, now I can, Sarah. Your audio had cut out there at the end. I thought you had stopped talking though.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
So I'm seeing that we're able to perceive both ideas or perspectives of reality, and we're able to translate it and transmute it so that everyone can understand it coming from different understanding the multidimensionality of reality instead of just one focus. So we're able to see multiple channels on the radio at the same time. That's how we're able to connect to these frequencies of light language.
That's exactly how a schizophrenic described it to me.
Wow.
He's since passed. His name was, I go to AA and everyone called him Crazy Tim, but he was my buddy. And I was talking to him about my dad while he was still missing. And I was talking about schizophrenia with the schizophrenic because they're the ones that know. And he explained it that it's just like a radio. It's different frequencies on a radio station, and each person with schizophrenia and us, we are just picking up a different frequency. That's all it is. You know, and I get back if every one of you just closed your eyes and each one just imagine what is reality to you and what does that look like to you? I would be fascinated to hear each and every person's expression or first thought or drawing or like that is such a fascinating. Because if I see how or hear how all of you imagine it, I mean, I just think that's so fascinating.
I agree. I mean, look at color blindness. Okay, so we say, oh, reality is just the same for every person. Some people can't even see the same colors and our perception of color is extremely, changing, right, Wendy, with the new blue, the yin min blue.
Yeah, by accident, you guys. It's one of the most exciting things. I was so excited when scientists said by accident we came out with a new color, and this is real. You guys can Google it. It's called new. It's actually called Min Yin Blue, and you can look it up. And they accidentally came up with a new color, blue. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, Bree, oh my God, you got to see this color. Something happened to me when I looked at it. I was so activated, and this was also at the beginning of my journey about connecting with Sirius, the Pleiadians, my blue side, the blue avians. It was such a metaphor for me for all of the blue energy. When I first found out about parallel realities, I immediately heard my guide say to me, that's why you guys think you have schizophrenics, because you are all living in parallel realities moment by moment. Some people experience them differently. So very interesting that we're having this conversation. Bashar has actually addressed this as well, and he concurred. That's exactly what's happening. And this goes with everything, Alzheimer's and all these other things. There's reasons why, and it's all wrapped up into all these things that we've all talked about, which we don't need to reiterate, but it's all about belief systems.
Yes, so that blue already existed, you know.
Yeah,
It's
all colors
just
already did.
Of course
our
it did.
consciousness as humanity is growing and expanding, and in that expansion, we're able to see other frequencies of light. That includes color,
Of course.
because frequency is color.
That's what, this is
well.
you guys, what my guides told me the day the emissaries of the light came through to me in that forest. And they said to me, there's information in the light. Those are called light codes. Now, I didn't know nothing about this stuff. They told me this.
Yes,
And
you
they
did.
said it's coming through the trees and the colors and the flowers and the information and the avians and the animals. And they said to me that because you guys have collectively chosen to create technology that allows you to see further dimensional information and colors, why do you think we can see beings and orbs and things we couldn't see before? Our technology we've created to give as a permission slip to give us the permission to reach into these domains, these realms, and bring in the information. And orbs were one of the very first things that ever presented themselves to me. And I literally burst into tears when I saw it in my pictures. And
What color
because
is
I knew
everybody right
that's
now?
what they were. And then
What color is everybody right now? What color do you feel? Everyone
we're
who
all
wants to.
I feel multicolored right now. So
Yeah, I kind of feel like that highest chakra at the top of my head. When you said that, that was the first thing that came
And
up. So that
you guys,
that violet light, that purple, light white, violet light at the top of your crown chakra, that's what I felt when you said that.
Who else? Who else? I want to know what color you are right now. What color do you feel? What color do you feel? Anybody? Ivan? No? Beth? Maybe?
Still connecting color. I don't know what to tell you.
Close your eyes. What's the first color?
See, now I keep seeing that blue, so there we have it. But I'm not wearing blue, but that's what I'm seeing.
You say blue, and I just got indigo blue.
Well, there you go. And we were just talking about the indigo Arcturians yesterday. So, and I've been getting a lot of that indigo color. So that's kind of funny.
Oh, cool. I wanted to read something cool here. Aggies, I'm going to say Aggies. Aggies Magic in the YouTube live chat said, I've heard of channelers who chose to go through a schizophrenia test to legitimize their work. I think that's really interesting.
Wow.
I think that's very interesting because I had a feeling that there would be people saying that they are schizophrenic. And again, going back to the whole conversation, just opens up us needing to readdress what is schizophrenia and blah, blah, blah. Everything we talked about here today. So this is an awesome conversation. And again, thank you, Jessica, for sharing details about your personal life that are, I think, very incredible that now you're able to take what you experienced and share some of what he brought through. So thank you.
Awesome.
What
I love
is
it too.
your
You guys are, there's people
Knock it
sharing
out.
in the YouTube chat too about what color they are or what color they're seeing. So I was just checking that out. So that's kind of fun,
Excellent.
guys. So that was fun.
Thank you.
And
So we've been going for 4 hours.
Yeah, we've been going a while. So
over 4 hours. Oh no, almost 4 hours.
that's, yeah. So bless all you guys for staying with us, watching, hanging out, watching even later.
For
It's
real.
like, even if you catch a couple minutes of it here and there when you can, or just catch us listening to us while you're doing other things. You don't have to watch to listen. So I'm always totally amazed every week at the gamut that we cover. And I think, Bree, really today, I think our main thing really is about authenticity. I mean, if we want to give it a major, main theme for today was really about that, about authenticity. And, and when we share this stuff and we share these videos out on Facebook and stuff, and you guys are seeing, and you've been a part of this, and I invite all of you to let, if you see something, we try to put a little bit about what we talked about. And to be honest with you, to try to go back and listen to all this and remember what we talked about, even for Bree and I, has virtually been impossible. She does a really good job of trying to recap what we've talked about. So I encourage all of you, if you happen to see these posts or even in the comments, add your what what stuck out for you? What subject matter? Because I can't possibly list everything that we talked about.
Well, what about
The
a
reason I
Facebook
say
group?
that is because it helps other people.
I've been, Jessica, I think what we're going to get going on Wendy's website is a community page. And her and I still have to talk about the details of that. But I think there's going to be a community page, a form. I don't want it on Facebook. I'll be honest with you.
No, we're not. To be honest with you guys, I'd rather you guys just all contact me through my website, which goes right to my email, because I can't be all those places, and they're all over. The messages are everywhere. So yeah, that's a good idea, Bree.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about it yet, so that's a good idea. I'm sorry, Jessica. Go ahead.
Don't close the door on the Facebook group, because you can have
No, I'm not going to close the door. I'm just saying I want
community format.
I want the unity and community to be more centered in, in one place and more.
Right. I just want it off of Facebook. I'll be completely honest. I just don't want it on Facebook.
I just don't.
Maybe I've already. It may end up happening, but for right now, I think we're going to start with Wendy's website and have a group space. And we do need a group space. I know we do, because this is growing, because people all over the world are finding that people are talking about this stuff. So yeah.
And that was my intention. Stay tuned. All those years ago, when I did finally get on Facebook, I started a Languages of Lights page, just a page, off my page. And that was really the whole idea for it, was a community, a place for all of us to gather. And now since that time, it's just exploded all over Facebook. And I just never really kept up with it, because I was so
I'm going to keep bugging you about it.
And
I can help with that.
And I know that too. And I have and it's a wonderful thing is I've got all of these beautiful people in my life to help me with all of this stuff. And it's picking and choosing. Honestly, it's picking and choosing where I spend my time and energy. And then something new comes up into the equation, like Awake TV, which then changes my whole direction. It shifts my whole, way of thinking. And this has been the way it's been since day one, since I started the YouTube channel, is every time I had a plan, life happened and something changed my path. But isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? So, and look at these hangouts. My God, you guys, we start out talking about one thing, and look at everything we cover, and all the ground we cover, and the subject matter, and the sharings, and the intimacy. It's not just about light languages. It's about everything about ascension, and everything and how all of this affects all of us. And they've told me many times, as I've taken videos, speaking light languages, it's all about me expressing the layers of light. It's about receiving the layers of light, the light codes and information, and then transmitting those layers of light back out to all of you guys for you to interpret in the way you need to interpret it, and then come back and feed that information back to me so that we complete the cycle and the circuit. That's what this is all about. So, really, there's nothing more that I think, even in saying goodbye, there's nothing more that I think that we can say or cover other than our deepest gratitude and appreciation and honor for all of you being with us. Everything that you share, every word, even if you're not talking, just everything that you're all sharing is integrated into each and every one of us. And all of you that watch this, whenever you watch it, how long you get to watch it, I appreciate every moment of time that I have with you. And you really are, every one of you is truly a gift to me. And the moments that we spend together, they really are the most precious of gifts that I could ever ask for. This is completely exceeded. It's like it exceeded my expectations, but it's everything I was hoping it would be. Maybe let's just put it that way. That's really maybe a good way for me to leave that. And so if there's any way that I can be, or Bree, to be of service of you, please do get in contact with us. You can, again, contact me, through my website, Languages of Lights, and the links are everywhere. And I do hope that, many of you, either viewers or teachers, do help us all support the Awake TV platform. I think it's going to be an amazing thing. And I don't know what else, Bree. I think I kind of covered it all. So
I agree. Yeah, I think this has been really good. So thank you everybody for joining us today. And I will share a very brief light language blessing because I have not spoken light language today.
Yeah, so you get to say it and say goodbye, and that's it. That's it. Bree's gonna do the exit message, you guys. Otherwise, we're gonna be here all night.
Wow, I am doing the exit message.
So
I
you
feel
get
so
to do
honored.
you get to do the final blessing tonight, Bree. So thank you all. I love you. Mwah.
Thank you. Thanks, Wendy. All right. This blessing is for supporting our paths in this interesting flying spaceship rock that we're living on for the highest good of the all. Auta oeshe, ma'aura, nenta ause, me kihia, nau so kusho, ne sa an ne, nau o otea sa au era an nau, kayo so oe, kayo hona, hayo e shao, hatau, haraana ya hatau. Na ea so uki, sha ue I sao, untia so uto, untia so ui, usu uto shoha, naunta hahio ko hohua ate. Na ause, na yo utoto ui sha ia sa auta aia sho uso uto ai sa anaya asa au. Ia sa a, ia haraan ni suto, kia uso. Kia ushoto uto ute ia yoto u ia ia na roe shika ia muto hau munto hai shauka nau sheata naun te so hoa hai iatao kantea. Thank you all for being a part of this with us every week at 1:11 p.m. Central Time. With Wendy and with me and with the amazing light beings we have gathering here to share our hearts and souls together. We love you guys, and we're always looking forward to more co-creations and collaborations and sharing. And please do check out awaketvnetwork.com. See what they have going on. There's some really high energy in there. Wendy just signed up as a teacher, and they're launching on 11/11. So stay tuned on Wendy's blog page on her website for more information. Her website is languagesoflights.com, and you can go to the blog page there. So also, I totally hope we can see you next week, Star. And it's really nice to hear that you are hanging out with Riki. I don't know. Maybe it's a different Reiki than I had met at the Global Pyramid Conference. But thank you for joining, and thank you everybody in the YouTube live chat. Thank you everybody who comments and likes and all of that good stuff that we're supposed to talk about. We rarely ever do. So we love you. We love you.
Love you. Love you, Bree. Thank you guys. I love you.
Bye.